From what? Testing, testing. Testing. That's usually something.
No, don't play the music. Don't play
I'm gonna put the music and I'm gonna play music on the I'm gonna share the screen on the screen.
No, don't worry. Testing. Testing.
Testing. Testing.
Test, test. Test, test.
Testing.
Testing,
Testing. Oh, wait. Testing. Press up. I'm testing it, right? No, this is about to see.
Good. Sounds good. No. Any more music? You good?
Yeah.
All right, most high Christ, clap it up. We in the building, man. I'm gonna hold it down for General Mahayaman until you get here, all right? Welcome to the Westcoast Cookout. You know what I'm saying? Had General Mahayaman already blessed the podium. You know what I'm saying? Any questions y'all have for General Mahayaman that I can't answer, then we'll hold for him, all right? But before we start, is there any questions in the room or any questions online? We'll take the questions in the room and the questions online, if y'all have any, all right? Here we go. I can't see it. You got your hand up over here? No sweat. I need to use it. Is this mic not work? Testing. You right here? So. I don't gotta check this for y'all on this, right? No, but yeah, y'all are checking this, right? Oh, okay. No questions? We good?
No line so far, sir.
All right.
We do have one question, so it's like.
Hold on. So, like, who are in here? Everybody up here? Vegas in the building. Give it up for Vegas. Get into the Bay Area. You know what I mean? Oakland, Sacramento. I heard you in East Palo Alto now. East Palo Alto. You know what I mean? We got Arizona in the building. Captain Zaryak in here somewhere. New York in here. A Sargabon in here. A Sargabon, why you ain't on the computer? No, I'm messing with you. Man, who else? Am I missing anybody? Southern California, get yourself a hand. In here. I think DC General Q in here too somewhere. You know, let me give him a hand. All right, let's get it.
Okay. The question is from Police Officer Malakwa. Salaki, sir, when Christ said John the Baptist would be least in the kingdom, was that set in stone? Meaning, even if John the Baptist was reincarnated, he still wouldn't be in the truth? And does the work he did when he was Elijah play a part on Judgment Day if John the Baptist is not reincarnated before Christ comes back?
Solid, let's get it. So let's get into reincarnation real quick. Everybody know reincarnation is in the Bible, right? Reincarnation, if you die in the truth, you know what I mean? You're going to come back in the truth. If you die someone outside the truth, you're going to die someone who comes back outside the truth, right? That's what they think. That's not true. So what he's saying is this. Elijah, if you know the story of Elijah, who in the Bible, when in reincarnation is John, right? Elijah went up in a cloud. He went up in a chariot. You can assume he died. Why can you assume he died? Anybody know? Not that. Because what? Because he came back. You know what I mean? Because he came back as John, right? So you can assume he died because you have to die in order to come back. Now, Elijah left in the truth. You find me that precept where it says like the Lord was, it's something about the Lord was satisfied, like meaning meaning a brother died, he died, and the Lord wanted him to die because of the great works he did, basically. You know what I'm talking about? It was like the Lord was fulfilled or satisfied with him. If you can find it, if y'all know what I'm talking about, right? But I'll keep explaining. So now, John, of course, what was John's mission? Anybody know? What was John doing? Go ahead.
To prepare the way for Christ.
He was what? You said it right. He was what?
He was the messenger.
No. Yeah, there you go. He was preparing the way. Right? Say that. He was preparing the way. Give me Matthew 11 and 3 and 11. Is it 11 and 3 or 3 and 11? 1 and 2. Give me one of them. All right. So now what John did was great work until he didn't follow Christ. You understand? That's when the Lord said what he said. That's when Christ said that he'll be called least in the kingdom, because anyone who doesn't follow Christ will become least in the kingdom. Y'all understand?
Oh,
He that is not with me scattereth abroad. That's in the Bible, right? You can get that too. Matthew 12 and 30. You got 3 and 11? Is it 3 and 11? All right, go ahead.
Matthew chapter 3, verse 11. I indeed baptize you with water unto repentance, but he that cometh after me is mightier than I, whose shoes I am not worthy to bear.
Right, so now this is John's mouth, right? John said this out of his own mouth. He said, what? There's one that's going to come after me whose shoes that I cannot fill, right? And what did he say after that? Who's mightier than me?
Who's mightier than I.
He said that he's even mightier than him. So now, if John knew that, how come he didn't see it in front of his face, right? What was John's issue? What was John's problem? Hold on 1 second. Hey, shalom, sir. God bless you. Okay. Hey, Slacker, sir, you hear me? Okay. What was John's issue when Christ came? Cornyala.
He didn't want to accept Christ being the Messiah.
A little more. What'd you say, sorry?
No, I was thinking the mic over there.
Oh, Slacker, sir, can you repeat the question?
What was John's problem? And he just said there's someone that's going to come that shoes I can't fill, and someone who is going to be mightier than me. What was his problem? What didn't he see? Let me ask you this. If you've seen someone, right? If you've seen someone or you heard somebody and you've seen them breaking it down, dropping the truth, could you admit someone's better than you?
Okay.
Right. So what was John's problem?
He couldn't admit that Christ was better than him.
There you go. Sargabon, what you going to say?
Pride.
What?
Pride.
Pride. He, and also, what also did John want? What else did John want? Go ahead. Let's talk about.
John wanted to be the leader.
Thank you. That's it. He wanted to be in charge.
Right.
Even after he just said what? There's someone's going to come that's better than me, essentially, right? So now, let's get back to the question. Let's go there. Hey, who got Matthew 12 and 30?
I got it. 12 and 30.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead. I'll read it for me.
You want an answer?
Mm-hmm.
Check. This is Matthew chapter 12, verse 30.
Uh-huh.
He that is not with me is against me.
He's what?
Against me.
So y'all understand this, right? Before he breaks down the rest of the scripture, if you're not with Christ, you're against him. Everybody clear on that, right?
Oh,
so everybody understands how we can't be in different groups and we can't all love God, right?
Right.
It ain't no way that we can all love God and teach different things and do different things. You have to be together. You understand, right? That's why it's important coming to UPK. Commander Junior teaches brotherhood above all. You understand? Did he say, hey, you need to know? Did Commander Junior ever say, I need y'all to know all the precepts in the Bible? Did he ever tell you that? Did he say, I need you to have, I need everyone to be the best warrior, best fighter, physically fighter, you know what I mean? The best shooter or best anything. No, he said, man, listen, love your brother above anything. That's all. That's what he wants you to do is treat each other kindly. That's the main thing. Y'all understand that, right? No one cares about anything else unless about how you can treat somebody else. If I could treat you well, if I could treat you according to the Bible, that's what the main goal is. Y'all understand? Right? Because if we can love each other, then we won't have no problem, right? We can work out any issue. But if we don't have that, then we can't work out any issues, right? So we keep reading?
No, sir. Matthew 12, verse 30. Continuation. And he that gathereth not with me.
He gathered what?
Not with me.
Go ahead.
Scattereth abroad.
Right. He scattereth abroad. So now, let's go back to the question. The brother asked, what was the question again?
Sorry, sir. He asked, Salaki, sir, when Christ said John the Baptist would be least in the kingdom, was that set in stone? Question mark.
No, let's answer that. No, that's not set in stone. Why is it not set in stone? Cornelius.
Because brothers have a chance at repentance.
There you go. John might come back, right? Did Solomon, was Solomon cast away? He got a chance to come back. That was actually Christ. Y'all know that, right? And Christ came back. Should we throw Christ away? Should we throw Solomon away? Solomon sinned, and he died for his sins. And Christ came back, and he lived perfectly. You understand? So you can't say that. You know what I mean? Now, if John doesn't come back, the Lord kept his soul, which he did with people at the times of Noah, then that's different. But if you had the chance to come back, now we don't know who John is, right? We don't know who John is. At that, if John died there and that was that, then yeah, he'll be the least. But if he comes back and he has a chance again, just like everybody else has a chance, you understand? What's the rest of the question?
I think what he's asking is, can you be someone, and we know reincarnation is a thing, but can you be someone that's not in the truth one life and in the truth the next?
Can you be someone that's not in the truth one life and in the truth the next? Okay, well, it depends on what is the truth in your mind. You know what I'm saying? There are a lot of cats in the Bible were so-called in the truth. They all sinned and failed.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So,
Right.
you know what I mean? So, like, you can say that. Some brothers died in the truth, but some brothers died because of their sins. So, you can fall weak. You get what I mean? You can fall weak. Now, the scriptures say the spirit of a prophet is subject to a prophet. Y'all understand that, right? Y'all heard that before? Y'all, someone can pull that in Corinthians? Is it in Corinthians?
No.
Yeah, you can pull that real quick. So what you can understand is what though? You have a chance if you come. If you're living right now, you have a chance. That's your opportunity. Sargabon.
So I think I got that scripture you're looking for.
Go ahead.
Hebrews 11:5.
Mm-hmm.
By faith, Enoch was translated that he should not see death, and was not found, because God had translated him. For before his translation, he had this testimony that he pleased God.
Thank you. Hey, perfect precept. You understand, right? Get that brother that precept too as well. You know what I mean? Give him a hand. Go ahead. Give him a hand. Give him a hand. Excellent precept. So yes, if you're alive, you can change. It doesn't matter what your situation is. Some cats that you think that they'll never come into the truth, and they in the truth right now. A lot of y'all. You know what I mean? What was the rest of this question? Did we get on that?
It says, meaning even if John the Baptist was reincarnated, he still wouldn't be in the truth. And does the work he did when he was Elijah play a part on Judgment Day if John the Baptist is not reincarnated before Christ return?
Right. Absolutely it would. Absolutely it would. You know what I'm saying? Meaning this. Oh, it's like, would it play a part? It played a part when John came back as who he came back as. You get what I'm saying? That's what the part it played in. So now if he's not reincarnated, then no, he would become the least in the kingdom. Right. That would be his judgment. You understand? Like if it was just that, then that's it. That's it for John. He is the least in the kingdom. What is the least in the kingdom? Anybody know? Sorry?
The least in the kingdom would be Israelites that keep the law but don't have a position of authority to teach the word. So that person might be what we would consider the supervisor of CDS.
There you go. Still better than the heathen.
Constantly.
You're still better than the heathen. You just don't have a position of authority, a position of power. That's what we're working for in ISUBK. That's what Commander Yohana sets up. Any generals, captains, and officers, you're in line to have power in the kingdom of heaven. That's what you're set up for. Now it's your job to make it happen. You understand? It's your job to take the steps and advance them and make sure you get that seat. You know what I mean? With the Lord's mercy, of course. All right. I think that's 12. Any other questions? Sorry, go on.
So I have a question. When it says, when it says the scripture says that but fear him that can kill both body and soul. Can you break down what killing the body and killing the soul is?
No, so is that Matthew 28 or 10 to 28 or 28? Let's get that real quick. This is a scripture. This is a hell scripture. Yeah, this is a hell scripture, right? If you know about heaven and hell or hell in the Bible, hell according to the Bible is not a place under the earth. You understand? Hell is a condition, right? Hell is a condition. Like black people and Hispanic people today in America are in hell. You know what I mean? There's a scripture in Deuteronomy that says, "And my fire shall burn to the lowest hell." You know what I'm saying? And the lowest hell would be the ghettos across America, the ghettos in South America, the ghettos in London, the ghettos in in the Caribbean, all over the place where Black and Hispanic people suffer. That is the lowest of hells. In Haiti, you know what I'm saying? All these places that Black people and Hispanic people suffer, the children of God's people suffer. You know what I mean? Imagine if you had to go live a life that we live in hell right now, and then die and go to another hell. Or let me reverse that. Imagine you live a life and you think you're going to heaven, and then the same person who was oppressing you is going to that same heaven, right? Would you want to go there? I wouldn't, because I'm gonna get there, I'm gonna get oppressed again. You understand? You're gonna get to heaven and get oppressed again in heaven. You understand? That's not how that works. Heaven is a condition and hell is a condition, and we're gonna read it right here. Go ahead.
Matthew 10:28.
Mm-hmm.
And fear not them which kill the body.
Right. So now you can't fear them that kill the body. Who is them that kill the body? Somebody raise their hand. Crime.
The oppressor.
The oppressor? Meaning what?
Meaning
No, you said it right. What is the oppressor?
the Caucasian man, the devil that the Bible speaks of.
And what is he?
Authority figure on earth as of right now.
Specifically, what is he?
Like
What is the difference between him and God?
Oh, he's evil.
Yes, but it's something else. Solomon. He's human. So don't fear them. Don't fear man. That's what it's saying.
Okay.
Don't fear them that can kill the body, right? Anyone can try to strike fear in you. The Lord said, don't fear them. You know what I mean? All you have to fear is fear the Father, right? That's our song, right? The Father we fear, our chant. The Father we fear. We don't fear anything. So the Lord said what? Fear not them that can kill the body. They can kill your body, no problem. I'll give you another one. That's what the Lord is saying, right? But keep going.
But are not able to kill the soul.
But they can't what?
Kill the soul.
They can't kill your soul. That's who you need to fear. Keep going.
But rather fear him which is able to destroy both soul and body in hell.
What is a soul? Give me Exodus. Give me Exodus 2:1. What is a soul? Go ahead, brother. What was that?
The person that you are.
That's a person, right? Correct? That's what a soul. You got Exodus? Who got Exodus when it says 70 souls walked into Egypt? Who got that?
So you said Exodus 2:1?
It might be 1:1, 2:1. Check around. This is a precept for what a soul is. Because a lot of people think a soul is a spirit. A soul is like a vibe of a person. But a soul is also an actual person. You got it, Corinne? Go ahead.
This is the book of Exodus. This is the book of Exodus chapter 1 and verse 5.
Uh-huh.
And all the souls that came out of the loins of Jacob were 70 souls.
Well, how many?
70 souls.
There you go. There were 70 souls. Go ahead.
For Joseph was in Egypt already.
There you go. Right? So now 70 souls came into Egypt. That's what it is. So now, this is the thing. Anybody can kill your body. This is the thing about God, though. God can take your body and he can take away your soul. Meaning what? What does it mean to have your soul taken away? Shalama?
So does it basically say like break your spirit?
No, it's a little heavier than that, a little deeper than that. Anybody want to give it a shot? Go ahead.
So you said take your soul
Yeah.
away or to kill you.
Yeah, but what does it mean though? Don't fear nobody that can kill your body, but fear them that can kill your body and your soul. Sargabon.
Would it be like the essence of who you are, like your culture, like your identity, your language? That's what makes you a person.
I take that for sure. Or just that you won't exist anymore. You won't live anymore. Right? We said it
That's
earlier.
different from body then.
Yeah, we said it from earlier, right? The Lord said he kept the souls of them from the time of Noah. Right? Didn't we say that earlier? That's what he said in the Bible. So them cats who suffered through the time of Noah, who died during the flood, they have never been reincarnated again. You get what I mean? They just them souls been getting tormented. That's what the Bible says. So that's who you should fear. You understand? Don't fear a body. You can have another body. You'll get another body. You don't even remember death, by the way. All you remember is living. Death is something you don't even remember. All you know is living. All through eternity, you always just know about living. You never know about dying. That's why you shouldn't fear death. But you should fear someone who can make sure that you'll never come back. You understand? So does that make a point clear? Solid. Any other questions? Kasarbaka, go ahead.
The book of Joel, chapter 3. The book of Joel, chapter 3, and verse 2. And specifically, the question is when he says he will plead with them.
He will plead with them. No sweat. Let's read it. Start at verse 1.
Come
Of course, this is a World War III precept. Y'all understand, right? Y'all know we in them times, right? You see what's going on, right? Get a Lord a hand. In that type, and you see what's going on. You see the times, and you see that, and you get fired up for about a day. You get fired up for about 2 days, and you see what's going on. And you see that your end is near. There's a precept in the Bible that says like your end is near. Like you'll be rejoicing. But one thing you have to do for sure in these type of times is look inwardly. You understand? Look inwardly. There's a scripture that talks about self-examination, right? How you got to check yourself. Now, of course, we want those things to happen, but you better make sure that you're right. You understand? You better make sure you're right. Listen, this place gives you comfort in knowing what to do. But the right thing to do is up to you. You understand? That's how it works. You know what I mean? You're in the right place, but is the right place in you? Y'all get it, right? Make sure that, all right? Go ahead, read it for me. 3 and 1.
The book of Joel, chapter 3, verse 1. For behold, in those days and in that time, when I shall bring again the captivity of Judah and Jerusalem.
Right, he's going to bring again. He's going to think about again the captivity of Judah and Jerusalem. That's what it said, right? The house of Judah and the house of Israel. So I said Jerusalem or Israel? So like
Judah and Jerusalem.
Judah and Jerusalem, meaning the 12 tribes of the nation of Israel, the lost 12 tribes. He's going to think about you again. Keep going.
Come. Verse 2. I will also gather all nations and bring them down into the valley of Jehoshaphat.
Right, the valley of Jehoshaphat, the valley of decisions, right? He's going to bring all nations together in one place to go to war, to go to absolute war. You understand? A bloody war. That's what the scripture calls the third woe, right? Woe means death or destruction. There's war. They said there's one woe past, the second woe past, and the third one cometh quickly. That's what the Bible says. People have been talking about World War III forever, right? That's what it seems like. Forever is like, 50 years. That's not that long. You know what I mean? There was a time, I think in the 80s, where it was I forget what magazine it was. Maybe one of the brothers older remember this, but had a magazine with the clock ticking. Anybody familiar with that? The clock was ticking, and it was about to show the clock strike. Go ahead, come on, Mike. What? One more time. Slack.
The atomic clock.
The atomic clock, right? Meaning it was getting close, wasn't it? With Russia, right? It was getting close. They was like, oh my goodness, it's about to happen, right? Go ahead, sir.
Are you also referring to the Cold War that was going on?
No, I wasn't referring to that in this instance. But that was definitely in part, for sure. Go ahead.
Come. And will plead with them there for my people.
Right. What does plead mean? That's your question, right?
Come.
Plead does not mean beg. Y'all understand? Plead does not mean beg. If you can find me plead, Old English plead in a dictionary. Just put in Old English plead. All right. And let me line up any other questions if you have any. But this is a World War III precept. Of course, we're in the time of World War III. We're in the time of things happening fast and quickly. You know what I'm saying? The Lord says, measure the time that things have to come. You're going to see things. Then he says, but the time is not yet as well. You know what I'm saying? So this is all the warning signs that make you want to what? Make sure that you get your stuff together. Is he giving you all the time? Go ahead, Asar.
Plead. It has a few definitions, sir. To argue a case or cause in a court of law, to make an allegation in an action or other legal process.
That's the one I want, I think. Go ahead.
We have to argue for or against a claim. We have to offer as a plea, usual in defense, apology, or excuse.
Yeah, I want the allegation. The second and third definitions work for me. I mean,
to
those
make an allegation in an action or other legal proceeding.
right there you go. To make an allegation or an action for other legal proceedings, because what happened to you was a crime. So now the Lord is gonna he's gonna have an allegation against you. He's not pleading with you. Pleading to us sounds like begging, right? Sounds like begging. No, he's not begging. He's going to slaughter them for their crimes. You get what I'm saying? That he is going to accuse them. He is going to charge them and convict them now. You understand? That's what that's talking about. Now he has to be finally brought up on his charges. And we bring up, when we go to camp, we're bringing our enemies up on their charges, right? All the time. We're telling them about the charges the atrocities they did, the crimes they did against us, the things that never happened for us, the justice we never got. So we're talking about all those things. So then we go from there, and then the Lord says, no problem, I hear that. So now I'm going to convict them now. Now I'm going to say, now it's sentencing time. Now it's time to say, you're right, you are guilty. So now that you're guilty, this is your sentence. And your sentence is death. And that's it. Go ahead.
Go, Khan. I was looking at the word in the Hebrew is Shabbat. It means to make judgment.
There you go. And that's the judgment they're getting. That's why it's called the Valley of Decisions or the Valley of Judgment. You understand?
Okay.
Sorry.
I got the other scripture you want.
Go ahead, read it for me.
This is Revelations 12:12. Therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath, because he knoweth that he hath but a short time.
But what kind of time?
A short time.
Read it all. That's the one I wanted like 5 minutes ago, right? Yeah, read that again. I forgot about that.
Yes, sir.
Go ahead.
Revelations chapter 12, verse 12. Therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth
In the truck.
and of the sea.
Yeah,
For
not
the
just
devil.
Slag it. You get them boxes? Slag it. You get them boxes up? For cameras, sorry?
Oh, you got it, Slide.
All right, no sweat. One more time from the top up, sir?
Yes, sir. Revelations 12:12. Therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea.
Right. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and the sea. Go ahead.
Sir. For the devil is come down unto you.
Right. For the devil has come down onto you. Go ahead.
Yes, sir. Having great wrath, because he knoweth that he have but a short time.
How much time you got?
A short time.
Y'all understand, right? So what's going to come down on you? The devil, the deceiver. He's going to come with great wrath. Why? Because he knows, but he got a short time, man. He has a little bit of time. They got a little bit of time left in this glory that they have. You know what I mean? Anytime the brother, he from New York, he go to New York. The white people are in their glory in New York, man. You know what I'm saying? Them high buildings. We go to Hollywood. Oh my goodness. Black people took over Hollywood. There's a lot of drug addicts now. But before it was just, Jewish community, just having a blast. Going up to Beverly Hills. Y'all go to Frisco. Come on now. What y'all doing in Frisco? See all the gayest, the LGBTQ community all through there. I'm talking nasty too, right? I've been there. It's crazy, right? They're having a blast. This is their kingdom. This is their playground. And they're going to come down on you with great wrath because they have a short time, right? And you have a short time too. Don't forget that. That's the other part. You know what I mean? There's two parts to it. There's two parts of them coming down and them being gone and you having the kingdom of heaven. And then there's the other part where you have a time to get right. You understand, right? That I want to make that clear and important because the time that you have is just as important as the time they have. You understand? You got to. That's the thing you got to make sure. What's our mantra? Don't be sure. Yeah, did I say it right? Okay, don't be sure, make sure. That's it. All right. Any other questions? We good on that? Nazis out. Go ahead.
Not a question, sir.
So like
The water circle about for the mic exchanges. Y'all need to be a little more zealous like this brother with the mic. Yeah, nice. Go ahead.
This is a question for the book of Zechariah, chapter 4 and 14.
It's like hold on 1 second. Y'all cold in here? Y'all cold in here? Y'all can turn the air off for the sisters. They're a little cold in here, all right? Turn the air off for yourself. Go ahead, Nazak.
I wanted to know who were the two anointed ones.
Where?
The book of Zechariah, chapter 4 and 14.
Ooh, the two anointed ones. I believe that was the Israelites. Let's read it real quick. Let me hear it.
Okay, I'll start at 11. The book of Zechariah, chapter 4 and verse 11.
Mm-hmm.
Then I answered and said to him, what are these two olive trees at the right of the lampstand and at its left? And I further answered and said to him, what are these two olive branches that drip into the receptacles of the two gold pipes from which the golden olive drains? Then he answered me and said, do you know what these are? And I said, no, my Lord. So he said, these are the two anointed ones who stand beside the Lord of the whole earth.
Ooh, okay. Let me double check, because I want to say I think it's Joshua and somebody else, but let me double check with General Mahayaman. You just hold that for him. I'm like 80% sure it was Joshua and somebody else. No sweat. Good to go? We'll hold that, all right?
Okay.
Let's hold that. What was that? Zechariah what?
Zechariah 4 and 14.
4 and 14. No sweat. Good. Any other questions? Let me know.
Well, I said no one as of yet.
All right, no sweat. Let's get to it then. Hold on 1 second. Give me, bear with me for a little bit. Definitely want to get in Revelations.
Sorry, I have a question.
All right, go ahead.
Well, why does someone fear? Like, what? I know it's a demon, but why? Okay, why does someone fear? It could be anything. Like, what is fear, and how destructive can it be?
It can be very destructive. Hold on. Give me 1 second, man. I'm gonna answer that question for sure. If you can hold me, Matthew 24 and 3, Isaiah 13 and 6, and Malachi 4 and 1, Bible sir. Just those three. Y'all get one more time. Matthew 24 and 3, Isaiah 13 and 6, and Malachi 4 and 1. And then that's one topic, and let me get this topic too. Brother said, how do you fish someone into the truth? Give me Romans 11 and 14. All right, and I'll answer your question. What is hot? Some more time?
But how destructive can fear be? Right. Like you were brother in the truth.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, the Most High didn't give us a spirit of fear.
Yeah.
How do you teach a brother to be fearless?
Okay. To teach a brother to be fearless, he has to have some type of courage. And sometimes he has to be inspired by someone else to have that courage. You get what I'm saying? A lot of brothers fear their women. I'm sorry. Hey, hello. Some brothers fear their women. You got to help a brother not fear his woman. You get what I mean? You got to tell a brother, you know you're a man, right? Okay, well, come out with us. You got to tell him, because he's like, I don't want to. Don't do that. You know what I mean? Sometimes some brothers have a fear of speaking at camp. You get what I'm saying? They don't want to speak. They would rather do something else. So they don't have to be the best speaker, but you're gonna have to do it. You're gonna get up there and speak.
Right.
You know what I mean? Fear can hold you back. You know what I mean? Fear can hold you back from being achieving your goals, right? If you have a great idea, right? You have a great idea.
Right.
Say you have a slavery or something, right? You have a slavery, but you have a great idea to open up a business or something. But you are scared that you might, your slavery, you're gonna lose your slavery and trying to, find your follow your dreams because you're scared of really championing what you believe in. You know what I'm saying? So fear is definitely a demon. Fear is something that prohibits a lot of things from succeeding. But in here, you can't have fear. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You can't have that type of fear because fear is a cancer. Because you being scared is gonna scare somebody else. You understand?
Right.
If you're scared to do something, that's gonna make somebody else feel comfortable in their fear. Don't do that. There's a lot of things I was scared of growing up or feared coming up in the truth, and I just did it because I'm like, I got to overcome this fear. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So you got to do the same thing, just like you overcome everything else. You just have to do it. You just got to do it. That's all. And that's the best advice I can give you is don't think about it, just do it. And then once you do it, you realize what were you scared for?
Right.
You know what I mean? You'll see it like, why was I scared of that? There was nothing to be scared of. And then you go conquer something else you were scared of.
Right.
And something else you're scared of.
Right.
Then you'll realize that you don't fear anything.
Right.
And you can conquer everything. That's how that works. You know what I mean? Go ahead.
If I could, sir, I remember when I was a young man trooper, and I had to get on the plane to go to New York. I've never been on the plane. and I said, it's like, sir, I've never been on a plane. He was like, you afraid of heights or something? I said, nah, sir. He's like, well, you're getting on the plane.
Yeah. And what happened?
Got on the plane.
What happened?
I'm here.
You landed, right? There you go. You realize that, what am I scared for?
Right.
Well, I'm scared. Like a lot of people are scared of the plane. You know what I mean? But you did it. That's what it is. You just got to overcome it. You just got to do it. Don't think about it. The more you think about it, the more you get scared.
Right.
You start like, what if this happens? You start looking up the odds of the plane crashing. Like 1 in 1 million. I got bad luck. I'm gonna just drive. Rather be driving. I'm like, you're driving.
Right.
You know, there's way more odds of you crashing the car, right? You know what I'm saying? So just overcome your fear by doing the thing that you're scared of. You know what I'm saying? And that's the only way you can overcome it. You can't sidestep it. Once you sidestep it, you're just creating more fears and more barriers. You understand, right?
Right.
So the reason why people get feared is because they're around scary people. That's why. You got to be around people that are not scary. So you be around people that are willing all the time to do something that you're scared of, so you can be inspired. You just move forward like that. So if you hang around 9 scary people, you're gonna be the 10th. Right? That's what they say about everything else, right? So hang around people who are not scared. Right? I'm scared of a lot of things, but I won't say it. I just do it. And then I'm like, okay, I've battled my demon today. You know what I mean? So you got to battle your demon. I'm not really scared of nothing. I'm just, just trying to give y'all an example. I'll sweat the water though. We good to go? Sargabon.
This is a question I get asked a lot, or that comes up in class. Why is obedience good, and why should you fear the men above you?
Okay, obedience is good in 2 things, right? It shows how much. Okay, if I tell you to do something and you do what I asked you to do, that you gain my trust. You get what I'm saying? You gain my trust by me asking you to do something, you do it. That's one thing, right? Why? And this too, and it shows your character. You understand? Some cats, you tell someone to do it, and they're just like, I don't. I'm like, damn, what's your problem? I mean, if someone tells me to do something, I'm gonna do it. That's it. I'm not gonna think twice about it. I'm not gonna think it over, or as long as I know it's lawful, right? I'm not gonna sit there and say, well, I don't like the way he said it to me. I'm not gonna get into a lot of those things. I'm gonna just do it, and that's it, because I'm a soldier. You understand? If you're a soldier, you don't care about none of that. You just do what you're told, and that's that.
Right.
But the thing that you show in that is that you're a soldier. That's your best way. Now, the reason why I wouldn't, okay, the reason why you should fear the men over you, okay, because in not obeying them, now you put your life at risk. You understand? If I said, hey, you shouldn't do it, that's dangerous. You know what I mean? You're putting your life in danger. Now, I'm saying this, warning you and trying to be someone who cares for you. Now, when something happens to you, not only something bad happens to you, but now I'm going to get checked behind that when in my bad, how you say that? I didn't persuade you enough to not do that. And somebody's going to get checked behind that. You understand? Can you give me that precept? Fear them that have control. You know what I'm talking about, right? Fear them. You know what I'm talking about, sir?
Yes, sir.
Fear them that have.
Watch over your
Watch over your souls. The water. Give me that real quick. And give me obey. Give me obedience. So like, give me obedience in the Bible. I mean, the dictionary. Solomon, go ahead.
Slightly, sir. I was gonna say, is it also safe to say that? Can you also say that your obedience shows like your faith for serving the Lord?
Yeah.
When you listen to the men above you?
Absolutely. And but directly, it shows you that you love me. That's what it does. You understand?
Oh,
Directly, it shows me that you love me. Right? How do we show our love to the Most High?
you obey.
Thank you.
Okay.
It doesn't stop because it's just God. What, you just love God, but you don't love me?
Right.
I'm right in front of your face.
Right.
You understand, right?
Okay.
If I'm in front of your face, then and you won't obey me, so God has no reason to believe that you obey him.
Right.
You understand? So if I'm in front of your face, it shows you that we love each other. Because I wouldn't tell you something that I wouldn't do, or I wouldn't tell you something that is foul. You get what I'm saying? So it's important to have the right person above you as well. Go ahead, Solomon.
This is a scripture that you asked for, sir.
Okay, go ahead.
This is the book of Hebrews, chapter 13 and verse 17. Obey them that have the rule over you, and submit yourselves, for they watch for your souls.
That's it, man. They watch for your what?
They watch for your souls.
Read it from the top.
This is the book of Hebrews, chapter 13 and verse 17. Obey them that have the rule over you.
Right. Obey them that have rule over you. If someone's in charge of you, a woman has a husband, he's in charge of you. You understand that, right? He's in charge of you. That's it. That's all. This is not a debate. The Lord said that a woman becomes, the man becomes the woman's head. That's it. You understand? Right? Who's the head of Christ? Right. Who's the head of, who's the head of the man? Right. Who's the head of the woman? Thank you. That's how it works. And now, if we can play our roles, and we can follow those laws and what the Bible says in Corinthians, then maybe we'll be all right.
Right.
But of course, we so jammed up that we don't want to follow those things. You know what I'm saying? We don't want to follow those things. If I want to show my love, give me love in the Bible. Read that again, Shalom.
This is the book of Hebrews, chapter 13 and verse 17. Obey them that have the rule over you.
Right. Obey them that got rule over you. Go ahead.
And submit yourself.
And what?
And submit yourself.
What does submit mean? Submit means surrender yourself to him, to that person. Give yourself over to that person. That's what submit means. You understand, right? Submitting is surrendering yourself to that person. Saying this, you have control over me. You have control over my life. Right? Now, what can a man over you, what can a man over you can't do? It's like, how did I say that? I said that wrong. There's something a man can't do when he's over you. I talk about.
He can't force you to sin.
That's true. There's something else too, though. There's something else. Laha.
He can't make you do something that you wouldn't do.
He shouldn't, that's for sure. But there's something else too. Shalom.
He can't abuse his power.
Yes, all those are correct. I'll give you the answer though. He can't tell you to do something that Christ wouldn't approve of. You understand? Like if I'm asking you to do something in the school or something like that, whatever. There's orders and there's suggestions, right? Y'all hear them. Y'all hear the difference between them, right? Right. So now I can't tell you, hey, go wash my car. I need my car washed in about 30 minutes. I'm about to leave. Shine my tires too. Well, how does that profit the work of the Lord?
Right.
You understand? Now, if I said, hey, can you wash the school vehicle? Make sure it's good before we go to camp. You see how you do the difference, right? That's not my vehicle. That's the school's vehicle. Yeah, you get it, right? So now, a brother can't tell you something that Christ wouldn't approve of. I mean, Christ wouldn't approve of those things. He wouldn't. He can't tell you, to do something that is not doesn't have to do with nothing with the work of the Lord. You understand? And make sure that everything you tell a brother in this business has to do with the work of the Lord. Even if it's getting a crate, that's the work of the Lord. You know what I mean? If it's cleaning the bathroom, that's the work of the Lord. Or anything, right? Y'all get the point. You know what I mean? You would know when a brother is like, God, why do I have to what? You want me to take your shift at your slavery? That's crazy. What? You get what I mean? So you'll know. You'll see those things. And there's things that you know that a brother can do, right? He makes sure that he is watching over your soul. Right? He's watching over your soul. He's not abusing his power. Because anyone that has abused power in here is going to get removed. You understand? Very quickly. Because Commander Jay doesn't play that. Y'all get it, right? Who got obedience? Cornell, go ahead.
Did you still want that love scripture?
I did. I want obedience first, though, if y'all got that in the dictionary.
Oh, obedience.
But if you got the love preacher, go ahead.
Okay.
Mike.
This is the book of 1 John chapter 5 and verse 3.
Mm-hmm.
For this is the love of God,
Go ahead.
that we keep his commandments.
Go ahead.
And his commandments are not grievous.
Mm-hmm. That's the love of God, that we keep his commandments. Y'all get that, right? So we keeping God's commandments. That's how we showing love. Hey, hello, everybody there? You get it, right? That's how you show love, by obeying somebody. That's it. There's no gray area in that, is there? Right? Go ahead, Sarkapur.
The first definition, obedience.
Mm-hmm.
The quality or state of being obedient.
Go ahead.
And then obedience means submissive to the restraint or command of authority.
Right. You understand? One more time.
Sir. Obedient, submissive to the restraint or command of authority.
Read that first verse one. That first line again.
Obedience. Wait.
The first line, the first definition.
Obedience. The quality or state of being obedient.
Right. The quality or state of being obedient. That is a state you got to be in ISUPK. I don't know if y'all know that. That is, you got to be in a state. What is a state? Of a spirit. You understand? You got to be in the spirit of being obedient. This is a place where if you have trouble with obeying, this ain't the place for you. Y'all get that, right? This is not the place for you. This is a place where we obey and we do what we're told, and that's that. If that's not the state you're in, then this ain't the place for you. All right? We good to go? Is there anything else I need on this?
You want to finish the verse that Solomon was reading?
Yes. Go ahead, Solomon.
This is the book of Hebrews, chapter 13, verse 17.
Mm-hmm.
Obey them that have the rule over you, and submit yourselves, for they watch for your souls, as they that must give account, that they may do it with joy. That
must give account. See it again.
For they watch for your souls, as they that must give account.
They must give away.
Give account.
They must give away.
Give account.
You understand, right? All the rank that you get in the school, that's good. That's great, man. Give yourself a hand for real. Give yourself a hand. But then you have to make an account when something goes wrong as well. You understand, right? It's your fault. It's your charge, your position, and it's going to be your fault because you have to make an account of why this happened to this brother, and why is he not listening to you? Why are you not persuading him enough to listen to you? What's up with you? Why is he disobedient? What's wrong with him? Y'all understand, right? Then you got to tell her brother, why the hell you don't listen? Man, give me push-ups. Drop. Oh, I can't give you push-ups. Just get out of my face. Leave, please. Don't ever come back. It's making me look bad. But yeah, y'all understand, right? Just obey. Just obey. All right. And your life will be way better as well, by the way. Fight your demons and obey. All right, good to go. Any other questions? Sorry, can we get those precepts now? What happened in Maine? Good night. What happened in Maine? Asargaban?
There was a mass shooting of, I believe, of 20 people who were unalive.
Slacky. Put your phone on mute. One more time out.
So there was a mass shooting in Maine where over 20 people were unalive and several, like dozen more were injured.
Yeah. Why is it not being talked about that much?
Right.
Right? Can I tell you why? Because no one cares. That's why. It's in Maine, right? No one cares about the people in Maine, obviously. They'll be having way more wide coverage about it, right? But these things are always going to happen. Someone give me terror should make them afraid on every side. Let me tie this into what's going on in the world as well, all right? By the way, that cat is still at large. Yeah, he's still at large, by the way. It's Halloween. I mean, good night.
Good night.
Yeah. They got masks on tomorrow, right? Is it tomorrow? Saturday. This is Halloween weekend, right?
Oh, God.
Yeah. We still will be going out. They're going to be like, what y'all dressed up as? We are still going out, Akim, all right? I don't want to see y'all eat no damn candy, though. You know what I mean? Putting extra salt and all that stuff on your rim of your drink. You know what I mean? But we will still be going out. Get going out of hand. That's for sure, right? You know what I mean? I didn't even know it was Halloween. It was like, hey, it's Halloween weekend. I was like, damn, you're right. I didn't forgot about that. Go ahead.
The person that's wanted for murder, his name is Robert Card. 40-year-old Robert Card.
Yeah. And he's still at large. Is that correct?
Concept.
He's still at large. That happened yesterday. And they got his whole name and face and everything, and they still ain't got him. Good luck.
If I may, sir.
Good luck this weekend. Go ahead.
He was an Army reservist as well.
Ain't they all?
Right.
All right. Terror should make him afraid on every side. Who got it? It's in Job, I believe.
The book of Job, chapter 18, verse 11. Terrors shall make him afraid on every side.
Right. You so numb to this. You like, I'm not scared. Because you serve God. Everybody else is in fear. Right. Those things are still happening. Those things are still happening out here, right? Now, those things are going to continue to happen while you're going into World War III, right? The scriptures or the generals always said this, right? Coming up, they'll say, what will happen? What will be the sequence of what's to happen in these times, right? The sequence will be America will begin to weaken, right? Meaning the strongholds of America, the government of America, the people of America. Inflation will go. Things will start to get rocky to the point where you can almost have your own, not empire. What's the thing that the Persians had, in the Bible? What is it called? That one.
What is it?
The Persians had it. They go ahead, sorry.
Are you referring to city-states?
Yes, but it's a word for it biblically. I forget.
Provinces?
There you go. Provinces, meaning these are your regional areas who start to get weakened and start to fall low. So where you can get whatever the hell you want in a second, about to be given to you, right? So those things are going to start to happen, right? The earth will get weakened, America will get weak, and you'll start to what? Rise. Your power will go up, and our numbers will go up, because what happens when fear strikes? People want to turn to God. Right? What happens to people in prison? What's the first thing people do in prison? Go ahead, Corinne.
Ask for a Bible.
They ask what?
Ask for a Bible.
It's time to pray now, right? I mean, God, if you give me out these 3 life sentences, I swear to God, I'll never kill nobody. I won't kill nobody ever again. And you see all these new laws coming up. Oh, wait, hold on. I found some holes. Man, God is good. You know what I'm saying? And then you get a reduced sentence, and how you get out of prison, I don't know. Sometimes it happens, right? Not a life sentence, but something happens. I'll be like, how the hell did this person get out of prison? But they turn to God. They go pray and study the law and find a way. You get what I mean? But that's what's going to happen to people here. They're going to see us. They're going to see people who don't fear. And when they see people that don't fear, like I said, it inspires them to what? Not to fear. So it makes them want to be like them. How are you not scared of what's going on? How are you like this? Well, I follow God and The Bible been told us what's going to happen and this, and that. And then they see and they go, well, how can I join it? I want to be in there. I don't want to be scared no more. Right. So your numbers go up. And that's what's going to happen during these times, right? These times are going to make those things happen. What precept? Are we holding the precept? Terror, one more time.
Come. The book of Job, chapter 18, verse 11. Mm-hmm. Terrors shall make him afraid on every side.
Right. They're going to make who afraid? Who's the people that are going to be afraid? Go ahead.
The oppressor.
Yeah, very much so. Every which way he looked, he's like, good night. What is going on? What am I into? What did I do? And that's what I need him to ask. That's what you need the oppressor to ask. What did I do? Because we got all the answers for what you did. You know what I mean? Oh, we know exactly why this is happening. And it's almost scary in this part. The Bible said it was going to happen 2,000 years ago. You know what I mean? It said 1,000 years ago that it was going to happen. And the Lord chose you to be alive during the time. Get out of hand. You know what I mean? Get out of hand. He chose you to be alive during that time. Right? So let me get Matthew 24:3. I call it 3 precepts. 24:3. Go ahead.
Can you keep reading this same book?
Oh, yeah. No sweat. Keep reading. Keep going. You see something?
Until verse 17, sir?
No sweat. Go ahead.
Come.
Oh, sorry. You can pick it up, though, if you don't mind. Go ahead.
Job 18:12.
Mm-hmm.
His strength shall be hunger bitten, and destruction.
Wait, hold on. His what?
Hunger bitten.
Yeah.
His strength.
His strength should be hunger bitten, right? You talking about that's the oppressor, right? Now it's gonna look like I don't know so much now. I don't know if I want to do that. Go ahead, sir.
Is hunger bitten like the best way I can think about it is like having a strong animal like a buffalo, right?
Uh-huh.
Fall into a water and there's piranhas. The piranhas are hungry, so they're hungry, so they're biting at him, tearing away slowly. Is that kind of the same thing as strength? Hunger bitten? You
said it one example. I'll say it like this, meaning when there's one thing of being hungry, and then hungry bitten means I'm not so hungry. You know what I'm saying? I'm not so hungry. I'm not so hungry to what? Shalom.
It's like you like to continue fighting, like a lack of motivation.
There you go. That's it. But what you said, your example was correct too. It's like you're taking away the strength, right? That's what he's gonna feel spiritually. Hunger bitten.
Oh, God.
You know what I mean? Like I don't want this. Go ahead, keep going.
No, sir. And destruction shall be ready at his side.
Yeah, it shall be ready at his side. Meaning this can fall any second. Anytime now, right? Keep going.
Verse 13. It shall devour the strength of his skin.
Mm-hmm. It shall devour the strength of his skin. This is spiritual, right? This is twofold, right? Go ahead. Sorry, you want to say it. Go ahead.
The skin is referring to his toughness?
His toughness, yeah, for sure. It's talking about, like an alligator has tough skin, right?
Awesome.
But it's also, what is the white man's skin, right? you think about that. It shall devour the toughness of his skin. The white man thinks he's tough. Right? He thinks it's tough. Yeah, the Lord said, let me expose who you really are.
Right.
You get what I mean? That's why I said it was twofold. Keep going. But what you're saying is correct. Go ahead.
Even the firstborn of death shall devour his strength.
The firstborn of death shall devour his strength, right? Go ahead.
Well, can you break that down?
The firstborn of death, right? What is the firstborn of death? Cornyalo.
Is this talking about that being his inheritance, so to speak?
No, not this. Sorry. Well, hold on, let me get coming down.
So, like, the firstborn of death, is it the brothers who repented? Or so, like, not the brothers, but the brothers and sisters who repented?
No. That's all. Sorry.
Is it talking about Cain?
Huh?
Is it talking about Cain?
No. Read again.
Awesome. Even the firstborn of death shall devour his strength.
What is the firstborn of death?
So like, is this talking about like the first?
Wait, hold on. Who said Cain? There you go. Why you say Cain?
Because he was the first murderer.
There you go. That's what you want to say. The firstborn of death is murder.
Right.
You know what I mean? Read that line again. Read that line again.
From the top, verse 13. It shall devour the strength of his skin, even the firstborn of death.
Right. Even the firstborn of death, meaning the willingness to kill, what the white man loves to do, what Esau loves to do, is to what? Kill.
Right.
Even to do that, shall what?
Shall devour his strength.
Shall devour his strength. He don't want to do that. You understand, right? And the Lord blessed him to do that, by the way. Y'all get this, right? So it talks about his skin being not as tough. It talks about him being scared. It talks about destruction being on it by his side. It talks about all these things. And it says how weak he's getting. How we talked about how America is going to get weak. Biden just said yesterday, "Oh, we backing up the Philippines for China." By the way,
Right.
y'all seen that, right?
No, sir.
Yeah, they ain't gonna be so brave in a second. And the second is gonna be like, I don't know, y'all. Let's talk about this. You get what I mean? And the second is gonna be like, hey, wait, just hold back, right? They jumping into everything. Yeah, we giving Israel this and them that, and they talking tough. They ain't gonna be talking so tough in a second. They ain't even want to kill in a second. Somebody had their hand up, right? Did someone have their hand up over here? No, sir. Go ahead. Keep going. What verse you at?
This is now going on verse 14.
Okay, go ahead.
His confidence shall be rooted out of his tabernacle.
Thank you. His what?
His confidence.
His confidence shall be rooted out of his tabernacle. What is a tabernacle? Go ahead.
Specifically like a place of worship.
Yeah, his home, his place, the thing that gives him, that thing that drives him to be this way. That thing is going to be taken away, his confidence. Remember in Obadiah, what does it say in Obadiah? Who shall bring me down? Right? That's what he said in Obadiah. Who shall bring me down? His chest, he was puffed up and all these things. And the Lord is answering what's going to happen to him. This is a prophecy. It's in the Old Testament, right? Go ahead.
No, sir. That was actually going to be my second question. Can I pair this with Obadiah?
Yes, you can. Absolutely.
It says, his confidence shall be rooted out of his tabernacle.
Uh-huh.
And it shall bring him to the king of terrors.
The king of what?
The king of terrors.
The king of what?
Of terrors.
Who's the king of terrors? Go ahead.
The Lord?
Yeah. It's specific? Well, yes. Christ, the Most High, yes. The king of terrors. Right? The God is, what kind of God is he? Coming up.
Terrible.
Yeah, thank you. He's a what kind of God?
A terrible God.
Terrible God. Right? That's the type of God he is. And now he is leading up to the king of terrors. That's who he has to see. Y'all know this ain't an actual match or a war, right? This is a slaughter. We went and took a lamb the other day and we seen what happens to the lamb. It's nothing. It's like, God damn. You know what I'm saying? Now this is them coming. This is the white man's Esau coming to the Most High and getting put in his hands and seeing what's going to happen to him. Keep going.
Sir. It shall dwell in his tabernacle. Because it is none of his.
It shall dwell in his tabernacle because what?
It is none of his.
What's none of his? Sorry?
Is it talking about his confidence or the terror?
No. Think about what's not his. Why does he have to destroy him? What's not his? Shalom.
The world is the planet.
Say what?
Basically, he's talking about taking his authority, like the world isn't his anymore.
Yeah, that's not his.
Oh,
you have to show him. You get what I'm saying? This ain't yours.
Right.
Now I got to put you in your place.
Right.
There's a scripture in the Bible where the Lord said, I'm going to put hands on them. Y'all heard that before?
Oh.
Yeah, that's a black man. Who else talking like that, right? Yeah, I'm going to show him that it's not his. Yeah, I'm going to show him. Then he also says, I'm going to put hands on him. Like, what? I people don't even talk like that. Go ahead, sorry.
Like I said, I'm confused because right before that, it says, it shall dwell in his tabernacle.
What's it?
That's what I'm confused about. If the world is none of his, then how can it dwell in his tabernacle?
Shout out my God, you were saying?
Is it a metaphor for destruction? Our destruction is going to be in his tabernacle?
It definitely is going to be in the tabernacle because that's his home. His tabernacle is his place. You get what I'm saying? And where is his place here? But it was never his. You get what I'm saying? It was never his. It's like, go ahead.
Counselor, continuing verse 15.
You want to take it to 18, right?
Yes, sir.
All right, go ahead.
Brimstone shall be scattered upon his habitation.
Uh-huh.
Would that be talking about the missiles?
Yes, brimstone is always fire, right? Go ahead.
Verse
And
16.
it should be what on his habitation?
Scattered.
Scattered. Yeah. Those are nuclear war, right? Nuclear missiles, right? Coming from there to here to there to there to where on his head, right? Go ahead.
Verse 16. His roots shall be dried up beneath, and above shall his branch be cut off.
Right, because what's going to happen to America is going to be a place where no one can dwell no more. Over meaning this, like for a time. For a time, this is going to be a place where no one can live. It's going to be destroyed. It has to be cleansed through warfare. You understand that, right? How was you cleaned? By warfare. If you're in the truth now, you were cleansed by warfare. Somebody turn that arrow off. Like, let somebody was hot. Cap, you hot? Cap. You want the arrow on? Yeah. Oh, okay. No sweat. I thought I said turn it off earlier. Go ahead.
Verse 17. His remembrance shall perish from the earth.
Uh-huh.
And he shall have no name in the street.
His remembrance shall perish from the earth, and he shall have no name in the street. Y'all all familiar with that, right? What did the Lord say about Esau? What's going to happen to Esau? According to y'all?
He should be cut off by slaughter.
He shall what?
Be cut off by slaughter.
He should be cut off by slaughter. That's how it's going to happen. But what else did he say?
He shall never fill the face of the world with cities.
Thank you. Yeah, that's in Isaiah 14 chapter, right? 22nd verse. That's what he said about you. That's what he said about it's like an Esau. That's what he said. You ain't gonna see him again. Read that part again, sir.
Yes, sir. His roots shall be his remembrance shall perish from the earth.
His remembrance shall perish from the earth. You're gonna have to go to where to see him. And this is a UPK thing. You have to go where, Commodore?
Oh. So a wax museum?
You're gonna have to see him in the museum. If you want to see the white man, and you're gonna be like, well, your son gonna ask you, like in the kingdom of heaven, like your grandson, whatever. Well, what did he look like? You know what I mean? Like, well, let's go down to this brother's home because he got a big museum of them. We're gonna see what the white man used to look like. You're gonna see him like, damn, that's so he had y'all oppressed. And you're gonna be like, oh, yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of drugs, there's a lot of drugs, man. Go ahead, Ramat.
So would you say that we'll have more of other races like Chinese and all of them as slaves than the white man? Would it be a small portion of Edom?
No, Edom after let's just say give a number. Let's say after 1,000 years they'll be completely gone. Yeah, completely gone. They have to serve out their thing, but after that they're gone. They're never going to be seen again. So now you will have get out of here. Now, but you will have all the other nations still alive and well and being ran by someone who's an Israelite in authority. So now this cat who's in authority is going to make sure that their country is ran where they can't eat the things they want to eat or do the things they want to do. They got to make sure they're keeping our law. You know what I mean? And then they pay their 10% to us. You know what I'm saying? So they can be Asian. They can be whatever, African, whatever. You know what I mean? In our law, though. Right. And they can marry each other and be together and, have a successful life in our kingdom. The scriptures say that they're going to rejoice when we in charge. Right. You know what I'm saying? They're going to be like, well, this was better. We get to be with our own and love our own and all this. And no one comes in and what do white people do? With that colonize us and you know what I mean, and take our territory and we leave them alone. Hey, y'all live there, stay there, give you 10%. to priests show up anytime y'all think about getting a cow pissed on your head. Okay. Anytime you think about what's that cat name? Cat in bed, or the cat that ejaculates in his mouth. Anytime y'all think about him, anytime you think about him, you know, you about to get your head chopped off. Shalom.
So like sir, so I just had a question. So in the kingdom, right? All of the other nations, are they gonna like follow our culture as well? Like, are they gonna, you know,
okay,
are they gonna keep Passover? They gonna, you know what I'm saying? These type of
they ain't gonna follow like they ain't gonna like. Okay, they will want to have braids. You get what I'm saying? They will want to have garments because you're gonna be that person in the kingdom.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? Like, you know how everyone naturally wants to be white, meaning rich.
Right. Like they'll like look up to us.
Yes, they want to be like, damn, I want that power. I want that. They're gonna want that. They're gonna want that, but they're not allowed to be at anything. You get what I'm saying? That's still exclusive.
Okay, so they wouldn't be able to, because they're not gonna have their own like holidays and stuff like that. So, but they'll be they wouldn't be able to like keep our high holy days in they zones and they areas.
Let me ask Jeremiah, man. But I'm sure they're gonna observe everything we do. You know what I mean? I know Captain Zariak knows, but it's like so they.
Yeah, I was gonna say they definitely would. Just imagine they have a Christmas in China.
Right.
Okay. So if they got a Christmas in China, for sure they'll have every single thing. We'll be the flavor. We'll be everything that the earth follows.
That's right.
But in Timbuktu, you're gonna follow what we follow.
If I could, sir. Okay, can they go to Passover?
Can they go to the Passover?
Yeah, go. Not have, go.
No.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's still exclusive. That's the black only party. And you know how we have black parties? There you go. God. Everybody will observe. God, sir. So you get it though, right? Yeah, that's what will happen. You know what I mean? You're gonna be that. You're that now. So like, sir, go ahead.
That's in the scriptures now. Exodus, I think it's either 12, Exodus 12 chapter. It talks about two strangers in that chapter. There's a stranger that's a non-Israelite that cannot be a part of the Passover. And then there's a stranger that is an Israelite that can be a part of the Passover. So what I'm saying, what will happen in the future takes place right now. Right.
Solid. Good to go. Malak, go ahead.
So like kept aren't they basically following, like, I mean, they're not following us in righteousness, right? Because we're not ruling the earth, but if you notice right across the world, they're copying our style.
Absolutely.
Like, trying to be like us, like the Chinese trying to be, you know, that whole Chicano culture.
Yeah.
And then, you know, out there in Europe, you know, even in the Middle East, they copy that hip hop culture. So they copy black and brown regardless.
Right. They absolutely do. They do it today. White kids wanted to be Allen Iverson when I was growing up. They had braids and all that. Right. You know what I mean? Fake tattoos and all that. You know what I'm saying? So like, and that happens today. A kid's favorite athlete is, you know, someone that they can't be like. Right. And then they realize it during high school. They're like, oh damn, I will never be that cat. So maybe I'll just talk about him. And maybe I'll go report on him. You know what I'm saying? All right, solid. Any other questions? We're done with that topic? Oh no, we're not. Where we at? 17?
No, sir.
Go ahead. Finish. Go to where you needed to go.
Verse 18.
Mm-hmm.
He shall be driven from light into darkness and chased out of the world.
One more time.
Verse 18. Job 18 and 18. He shall be driven from light into darkness.
He should be driven from where to where?
From light into darkness.
You get it, right? That's where he's going to be driven to. From light to darkness. Darkness is where he came from, where he needs to go back to, which are, what are they called? Caves. You understand, right? They're called caves. And that's where he's going to go. That's where he needs to go back to. Go ahead.
And chased out of the world.
Mm-hmm. Right. That's what happened to the first. What was that scripture we went to? The first born murderer, I believe. Oh, what verse was that?
That was verse 13.
Right.
The firstborn of death.
The firstborn of death. What happened to Cain? What happened? Where did he have to go? Go ahead.
he was kicked out of from where his
Society.
family lived,
Yeah.
and he was scared to go into the world.
Yeah, he was kicked out of where people dwell, meaning it was society. And he had to leave the actual earth to go to the mountains. And that's what happened now. You get what I'm saying? That's what happened to him. And that's where we need to show spiritually, we have to do that to our oppressor. Spiritually. And that's where that what's that precept in perdition, the son of perdition? You know what I'm talking about, right? So that's why we do those things that as far as exposing who he is and telling the world who he is. You know what I'm saying? And making sure that our people fall away from the things that they need to in order for Christ to return. And then you got to tell the people, don't be fooled to think that Christ won't return, because he will. Don't be fooled into thinking that he won't, because he will. That's what you always got to remind your people of, because our people love to sleep. You know what I'm saying? That scripture said we love to slumber. Our people love to sleep. Our people love to be, distracted or going back to our ways because of things of the world, vanity. You know what I mean? So if you keep your people away from vanity or focused on what's in front of them, then they'll be strong. But that's why you have everything to distract them. That's why you have all these things in place to make sure they don't be like that. Malakma?
So, like, Kev, we do have a question online.
Go ahead.
It's from Trooper Mawakan.
What was it? What's like? Was we done on that, Sarkman?
Khan, sir.
You good to go?
Yes, sir.
No, sir. Go ahead.
Khan, sir. This is from Trooper Mawakan. He's asking if he can get a breakdown for Proverbs 9 and 18.
Come on, let's go. Let's read it. And it's like Jeremiah will be in about like 5 minutes, all right? 5 minutes.
Khan, I got it, sir.
Go ahead.
The book of Proverbs, chapter 9, verse 18. That he knoweth not that the dead are there, and that her guests are in depths of hell.
Can I get 2 verses up? 9 and 16.
Khan, Proverbs chapter 9, verse 16.
Mm-hmm.
Whoso is simple, let him turn in hither. And as for him that wanteth understanding, she saith to him.
Hold on, Salakia. John Muhammad said there's some brothers in wanting to come in class online, bring them in. There's somebody. Meaning, Salakia on the thing. Yeah, bring them into the class, Salakia. There's some brothers that is on the stream yard. Yeah, bring them Salakia, bring them into the class. Let me shout them out. Chris Harper, go ahead.
It might be better maybe to start at verse 13.
Verse 13? All right, solid. Give me start from verse 13. Can you pick it up? Allah to Bible, sir?
No, sir. The book of Proverbs, chapter 9, verse 13. A foolish woman is clamorous.
Right, a foolish woman is clamorous. What does clamorous mean? I need a definition.
Clamorous, right?
Clamorous, yeah.
Concert.
Go ahead.
Clamorous, making a loud and confused noise.
Right, making a loud and confused noise. That's what do I say, Courtney? Something like it.
Okay.
Right, making a loud and confused noise. Right, that's what a foolish woman does. Y'all get that, right? Y'all black, right? I get it for sure. Go ahead.
A foolish woman is clamorous. She is simple and knoweth nothing.
Go ahead.
For she sitteth at the door of her house on a seat in the high places of the city to call passengers who go right on their ways. Whoso is simple, let him turn in hither.
Whoso is simple, let him turn in hither. Go ahead.
And as for him that wants understanding.
Now, if you want some understanding, though, right? If you want some understanding, go ahead.
She said to him, stolen waters are sweet, and bread eaten in secret is pleasant. Verse 18.
Meaning, well, hold on. I heard Captain heavy over there. Read that part again.
Verse 17. Stolen waters are sweet.
Stolen waters are sweet. That's what he's saying, right? Stolen waters are sweet?
No, sir.
Okay, go ahead.
Stolen waters are sweet, and bread eaten in secret is pleasant.
Good, nice. Go ahead.
Verse 18. But he knoweth not that the dead are there.
You don't know that the dead are there. Meaning what? Now, you can go off. You can be distracted. You can be persuaded. Y'all understand this, right? And like in the spirit, this in the spirit, a woman can be this way to you. Y'all understand? Now, this is twofold, right? This is talking about a woman, but what else is it talking about though? Well, Satan uses women. I'll just give you that, right? He might use a woman to distract you in this way, to make you feel like stolen waters are sweet. That's what it said. And bread eaten in secret is pleasant. Who has this question? Malquan? Malquan. What's his question though? He just want a breakdown.
He just want a general breakdown.
All right, no sweat. Verse 18, go ahead.
Verse 18. But he knoweth not that the dead are there.
That's where dead people live. Where stolen water is sweet and where bread eaten in secret is pleasant. That's where death lies. Y'all understand? That's where death lies. And if you want to die, then do the same thing. Then follow that thing that confuses everything, that confuses people. Follow that person who makes you say, damn everything, because I rather have pleasure than obey, right? Because stolen water is probably sweet. It's probably amazing, right? And bread eaten in secret. Let me give you a hint. It's not bread. Y'all get it, right? Yeah, it's not bread hidden in secret. So if you go and do those things, yeah, those things they'll feel good. Doing what feels good is what make Black and Hispanic people thrive in America off sin. Right? Man, what is that thing in Romans? There's nothing good that comes from the flesh. Can you find that for me? Yeah, nothing good that comes from the flesh. Pleasure is a thing that tricks you into believing that, no, I'm satisfied now. I'm satisfied. So many times you was in the world, the thing that satisfied you was, the thing that destroys you. Right. You know what I mean? Oh, I need a cigarette. I need a blunt. I need some vagina. I need this. I need that. Those things used to destroy you. That's the thing that would satisfy your flesh. Because your flesh needs to be fed. Y'all understand that, right? Your flesh, that's what it seems like. Your flesh always has to be fed, because if it's not fed, then what's going on with me? I can't sleep if my flesh ain't fed. I can't eat if my flesh ain't fed. Right. But the thing is, you never starved your flesh. You get the point? Oh, God. Have you ever really starved your flesh? It strengthens your spirit. Right? Itazan.
Did you want that scripture, sir?
In Romans?
Romans 7 and 18?
Yes, I did. You got it? Go ahead.
Like Bubba Shun.
Someone else had their hand up?
This is the book of Romans, chapter 7, verse 18. Mm-hmm. For I know that in me, that is in my flesh, dwelleth no good thing.
They dwelleth what?
Dwelleth no good thing.
There is no good. Listen, stolen water is sweet. Y'all understand, right? Bread eaten in secret is good. But my flesh, there dwells no good thing. That's what Paul's saying, by the way. Paul's telling you right now that my flesh is an enemy. Yeah, people like the kids like to say is right? That's what the kids like to say. I grew up on enemies. Your flesh is an enemy towards you getting the kingdom of heaven, because your flesh doesn't understand being born again. Right? You understand? Your flesh don't get that. Only you get that in your mind. You get that you're born again. Your flesh doesn't understand that you're born again. So that's why you have to constantly fight. You have to constantly fight against your flesh, even though you're in the new spirit. So in your new spirit, you're like, no, I know this is wrong. But your flesh is like, I wasn't baptized. You was baptized, not me. That's what we call spiritual warfare. So now you're like, hold on, why do I know this is wrong, but I want to do it? What is going? You see how that can make you just fight? Right. They put bags in your eyes. You get my point? Put bags in your eyes where you like, well, I don't know what is what. All I know is what I'm told, and that's what I'm gonna deal with. That's what helps you, is knowing what's right. Because knowing what's wrong is that's why Eve got, and even Adam and Eve got kicked out. You should just know what's right. Thank her. Let me give her a hand. give Eve a hand for knowing what's right and wrong. Damn it. You should only know what's right. But now that you know what's right and wrong, it's your job to fight. And in the Esdras, what's it say in the Esdras, man? That's the condition of the battle, right? The condition of the battle is that you have to know what's right and what's wrong, and you have to fight it, and you have to be right. And that's that. Y'all get the point, right? Read one more time, 7:18.
This is the book of Romans, chapter 7, verse 18. For I know that in me, that is in my flesh, dwelleth no good thing.
There's no good thing in my flesh, man. There's no good thing in my flesh. When we go back to, what verse was that at?
Proverbs 9 and
9:18. And read 18.
Yes, sir.
No, this brother read 18. Proverbs 9:18.
The book of Proverbs, chapter 9, verse 18.
Mm-hmm.
But he knoweth not that the dead are there.
Right. You don't know that death is there. That's a, you know, if not, right? Yeah. Well, find out then. You get the point? Yeah, you'll find out for sure. You're gonna find out. Then you're gonna be like, damn, what happened to him? Oh, he got reincarnated. Lord allowed. Y'all get it? Yeah, don't find out. That's the point. Or would you just stay on a straight path? Right? Give me that. Matter of fact, let me Matthew 7:14. Is that Matthew 7:14? Matthew 7:14. 7:13, I believe.
Enter the narrow gate.
Yeah. Or stay on the straight path. It's probably the same verse.
Check. Concept. It says, Matthew chapter 7, verse 13.
Mm-hmm. Enter
by the narrow gate, for wide is the gate, and the broad is the way that leads to destruction.
Right. That's, you understand, right? This right here. This is the truth. The truth is the narrow gate. But broad is the way that leaded to the land to destruction. So if you want that, you can have it. Each whether way you like it, left or right. But if you walk this straight line, then you good. I hope if you ever got pulled over by the police, they gonna just assume you jump, right? They be like, come on, walk the straight line. You like, okay. If you was in the world, you was drunk as hell. Okay, I can do it. Can't do it. Can't do it. Walk the straight path, man. Being sober and walking the straight path is hard. Think about that. So walk the straight path. Right. That's the point. Now, if you want to find out where death is, then bread in secret is good. And stolen water is sweet. Y'all get it, right? Good? Sorry, go ahead.
I think it's a little bit more in that verse 2 than 18.
All right, go ahead. Read the rest of 18.
The book of Proverbs, chapter 9, verse 18. But he knoweth not that the dead are there, and that her guests are in the depths of hell.
Whose guests?
Her guests.
Yeah, that same clamorous woman. Yeah, her guests are in the depths of hell. You know what the depths of hell is? It's already a hell, right? This is the depths of hell. Right. It's like, yeah, this is the hood. Let me take you to the gutter. Right. Yeah, I'm gonna take you to the gutter now. Show you what the gutter is about. Yeah, that's where we gonna hang out. You get that, right? You from Louisiana, right? In Louisiana, some places you can't even get running water. You gotta go get some water from over there. No, I said some parts of Louisiana. Okay. Yeah, you gotta go where your water. California don't have that, but Louisiana, it's like a well. Yeah, you gotta go somewhere to get some water.
Down to the creek.
Yeah, and that's where they get their water from. That's the depths of hell. I don't know if y'all know that. Commodore.
So like I was gonna say, like out here, like the depths of hell would be like a dead end.
Get a mic, yeah. Say it again.
So like I was gonna say, like out here in LA, like the depths of hell would be like a dead end street.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, I've literally walked through what's the place with the tents at? A reservation? No, the tents. Downtown.
Skid Row?
Oh, Skid Row. Yeah. Raise your hand, have you been through Skid Row? Like, have you? Yeah. Yeah. That's the depths of hell. Hey, brother, you want to take a sandwich? No, what a crack. Like, God damn. Nigga don't want no food. He want crack. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
They don't want to get fed.
Right.
Hey man, can I help man? This man, you know you an Israelite. Man, don't go there, man. You got drugs or not? All right, move along, brother. Move along. Like Jesus Christ. I never went back there since. I said these people don't love God, obviously. Not coming back over here. It's fine. But that's the depths of hell.
Right.
And that's where you would go if you want to follow that. Right? I hope that answered your question, brother. Any other questions? I did have that. No swear. I did have them priests. I want to know. Sorry, Ron. You had a question?
No, sir. I was only going to say that the affliction, Day of Atonement, was basically what you were saying about starving yourself. You said a few moments ago.
Yeah. Starving yourself.
Yeah, like or having.
Yeah. Exactly. Starving your flesh. Starving your flesh for sure. That's the Day of Atonement. Everyone that goes to the Day of Atonement, they feel it. They feel it, man. It gets wild on the Day of Atonement. Especially if you never really fast. That's why you got to practice fasting. Y'all hear me, right? Just practice fasting, then you'll be all right. Practice fasting. I be seeing y'all on Facebook. Oh my God, I'm so hungry. They be saying that. I cannot wait to eat this food. I be like, God damn, man. Just relax. You be all right. All right, let's go. Who got Matthew? Let me just get these couple of precepts before the general walk in here, all right? Let me get Matthew 24:3 real quick. Let me get one over. Let me get it. He pulling up. Matthew 24:3. Oh, matter of fact, you can skip that. Let me get this question for the brother, right? Question: how do you fish someone in the truth? Right? Let's get Romans 11:14 real quick.
This is the book of Romans, chapter 11, verse 14.
Hold on, real quick. So now, how do you fish someone in the truth? This is how you fish someone in the truth. You cannot convince someone by your word to come into the truth. You understand that? Your word is not enough for someone to come into the truth. This is what needs to happen. This is what needs to happen. It's like, okay, let's go.
Hello, what point? Yeah. All right. Thumb, the water warrior, clap it up. Please be seated. I know I'm late like Lauryn Hill. So what? So what? I stayed too long in the gym. So lock you. Now I gotta apologize, everybody. I'm sorry. Clap it up for yourselves. No sweat. No problem. Un momento. Pasatimi, gente. We got the brothers online waiting for us. And you got any questions, Akim? I need to answer.
Yeah, some brother had a question in Zechariah.
Okay, let me rock that out as soon as I do this. 1 second. Mi nombre es General Mahayaman. Soy tu hermano. Estos son los anuncios. Somos la Escuela Israelita de Conocimiento Práctico Universal. Comenzamos en 1 West Calle 125 Harlem, Nueva York. Desde 1969, debajo del comando de el General Yahana. Canales, esta es la verdad. Si tú eres latino, negro o indio nativo, tú eres Israel, el pueblo elegido Dios. Tu madre y tu padre dicen que somos un culto y mantienen su iglesia sin culpa. Pero su iglesia tiene toda la culpa de lo que nos está pasando. Órale, wrap it up. All right. I'll take your questions now. If you have questions online or in the room, let's say the water to the brothers here waited so long for us here tonight. Who do we have? We got, of course, right here in Southern California. And what's the name of the city again? San Bernardino. Give it up for yourselves. Also, we have Officer of 50 Ayar, Banyashikar. Give him a hand. What city are you out of, Warrior? Ayar, where you at?
Right now, I'm in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, other one.
Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Give him a hand. Also, too, we have the officer in charge of Commanding General Yahana's branch in Mexico. Give him a hand, Officer Yashikar. I asked these brothers to come in tonight because I wanted to answer some questions and do a class based on the prison system here in California. The prison system in California is the largest in the world. It was the largest in the world until Texas surpassed the prison system in California about 3 years ago. In 2011, the federal government, the Supreme Court, ordered California to lower their prison population. They were ordered to do it in 2011. Until that date, this was the largest prison on the planet. What do I mean by that? Larger than the Ukraine, larger than Russia, larger than North Korea, larger than any country on the planet, larger than China. This was the largest prison system on the planet. The federal government said that the conditions in there were so deplorable, and they were sued, and they constantly were getting sued by family members whose loved ones were dying in prison simply because it was too crowded. So in 2011, they were forced to decrease their prison population. Please. After that, come on. Please.
Anybody driving a silver Chrysler? If you can move it, please. Slide.
I got good scotch down here. Give yourselves a hand for that. I told the Dohart, he's a man of class and sophistication. It's in this cup right here. Class and sophistication. Right here. All right. So since then, of course, who surpassed California? Not some prison in the Ukraine. Not some prison in China, but Texas. Texas now has the largest prison system on the planet Earth. California is number 2. All right. So, I believe most of you in here, your lives have been touched by the California prison system. It's such a gigantic factory. It's such a gigantic industry. So I wanted these brothers to come in and speak about it, because another thing that it was born in the prison system is the gang culture that you have here in Los Angeles, here in California. That gang culture is born in prison. And because of it, the outside world that you live in is controlled by prison. Everything about your life is about prison. Your life comes from prison. You conduct yourself based on rules in prison, based on conduct that you're told to do from prison. All right. And I would like some of the brothers to speak about that today. Also, another important factor in your life is the hatred that existed for so many years between Yashikarites, Issacharites, Mexicans from Southern California and Mexicans from Northern California. These brothers are going to come in tonight to specifically give us some background and to educate those of us who are not from California about the giant war, the beef, the trouble that Northern Mexicans have against Southern Mexicans and vice versa. If any of you in the class would like to speak on it, please feel free to just raise your hand. All right. We good to go with that? Come on.
So, like, General, you have a question online.
I'm ready.
It's from Kadar Amat Banyahawada, Salakia General. Who is John the Revelator compared to John the Baptist and John the Disciple?
John the Baptist is a different John from John the Revelator. John the Revelator is John the Disciple. They're the same person. John the Baptist is Christ, is the cousin of Jesus Christ on his mother's side. Jesus Christ had a mother. Her name was Mary, or Mahayaman in the Hebrew, in the ancient Hebrew. And she had a sister. Her sister had a son. That son was John the Baptist. Christ and John the Baptist were cousins. All right. John the Baptist was from the tribe of Levi, a so-called Haitian. Christ was from the tribe of Judah, because Joseph was from Judah. But Mary's sister married a man, Zachariah, I believe his name was. Begins with a Z, I forget, but he was from the tribe of Levi. All right. Now, Christ went out on the street and he taught. He gathered men. He gathered 12 men. Those 12 men were his 12 disciples. After Christ was betrayed by Judas, then imprisoned and then murdered and then rose from the dead, during that time, his disciples scattered, right? One of his disciples who was on the run before Christ rose from the dead was John, his disciple John. John was the brother of James. He was another disciple of Christ, James and John. They found Christ when they were very young. Their mother brought them to Christ to try to straighten them up. She saw her 2 sons and she knew that her sons needed him. They needed the structure and the order that this man had. So she brought her sons to Christ and said, my Lord, here are my 2 sons. Let them be on thy right hand and on thy left hand. He said, I can't decide where they sit because that's up to the Most High, but I will take them. And after that day, those 2 sons became James and John. They were 2 of the main disciples of Jesus Christ. Well, as they grew over time, James was arrested by Nero Caesar and he was killed. He was unalived by Nero Caesar. His brother John was sent to prison. He was sent to a prison colony called Patmos. It was an island. He was sent there just to wither away every day until he died. On that island, he wrote what we now call today the book of Revelations. At one time, it was called the book of the apocalypse of Jesus Christ. After that, it's from the first line in the book of Revelations. After that, the Catholic Church was so afraid of that term that they changed it to the book of Revelation. So John the disciple is John the Revelator. That term is from Christianity and from Christians, all right? John the Baptist is somebody totally different. Solid. Any more questions? Up front, you got it up.
Sir, may I get a quick breakdown on Matthew 22, 30 to 32?
No problem.
It's about the sister with the 7 brothers.
No problem. Also, Akim and Aquathim, I know it's super late. If you got to get home and take care of them badass kids, run up out of here. Do it. They wrecking the house right now. Your mother-in-law is about to call you any minute anyway. So you got to roll. I will not be offended. All right? Just roll up out of here. I know I was late. I know you're going to run and go tell General Yohana. You always tell my business. You don't tell none of your own business. You keep all your secrets. You keep none of my secrets at all. Anyway, if you got to leave, go ahead and leave. I won't be mad. Everybody understands. All right, go ahead.
May I start at verse 27?
Go ahead.
The book of Matthew, chapter 22, verse 27. And last of all, the woman died also. Mm-hmm. Therefore, in the resurrection, whose wife shall she be of the 7?
You want me to break this parable down for you? Is that it? Okay. Jesus Christ believed in reincarnation, and he was out teaching reincarnation. The Sadducee and Pharisee did not believe in reincarnation. The Pharisee believed that when you were dead, and that was that. The worms ate you, and that was all. The Sadducee believed that you became an angel. It might be reversed. One of them believed that after you were dead, that was it. The other ones believed that you turned into an angel, right? Just like the Christian church today, and the agnostics and atheists believe today, or the Muslims. The Muslims don't believe in a place after death. The Muslims just believe when you're dead, it's over, all right? Jesus Christ believed that when you died, your body is the only thing that died, but your spirit lived forever. And you got that spirit received a new home in getting a new body, which is what we call today reincarnation. So he would teach it on the street. So just like when you go out to camp, he would have people that would come and try to battle him and try to contradict what he was saying. So one day somebody thought they had him. I think about how many times people thought they had me, Asher. They done thought they had me 1,000 times. I'm waiting. Get my hand. He's right. All right, so now they thought they had him, Monk. And here's how they thought they had him. Go up a little bit to read how they thought they were going to catch him out there that day.
Come on, sir. Verse 25, if I may. Mm-hmm. Now there were with us 7 brethren, and the first, when he had married a wife, deceased.
So that's the person trying to cut Christ. We have 7 brothers, and one of them had a woman. Which one? The eldest one? Did it say that? The eldest one had a woman. Now let me give you a little background. There's a law in the Old Testament that says if your brother dies you have to marry your brother's widow and then raise up a child in the name of your brother. It's the duty of a brother. It's the law of a brother. And that way, you make sure that your brother's wife is not starving and without protection, because she knows that she will always have a husband if her husband has brothers. So if her husband dies, she's going to marry his brother. They're going to have a child and name the child after the brother. That's a law in the Bible. So that's why they're coming to Christ to say, listen, we have 7 brothers. The eldest was married to one woman. Go ahead.
When he had married a wife, deceased, and having no issue, left his wife unto his brother.
An issue is an old term that means no seed that came out of you. Something that comes out of you is an issue. All right. He didn't have any issue. He didn't have a child. So because he didn't have a child, come on.
Verse 26. Likewise, the second also, and the third unto the 7th.
Okay. And the third unto the 7th. So what happens? The eldest is dead. She marries the next one. She doesn't have a child with the first one. She doesn't have a child with the second. She doesn't have a child with the third, fourth, fifth, sixth, and 7th. She married all of them and didn't have a kid.
But each one passed away though.
Each one died. Each one died. So imagine she has sex with one. She marries him. He dies. So then she marries the next one. They all keep dying after they marry her. And she never gets to have a child with any of them to raise up seed unto any of the ones that died. Are you with me? That's the scenario that they're giving Christ to try to cut him. Keep going.
Verse 27. And last of all, the woman died also.
And at the end, finally, she's dead. Keep going.
Verse 28. Therefore, in the resurrection, whose wife shall she be of the 7?
Oh, they got him. Therefore, in the resurrection, in the reincarnation, which is what we call it today, whose wife is this? Since you believe that people come back, since you believe people come back and marry again and live again, who does this woman belong to? Because she married all 7 of them and then she died. So when she comes back and they all come back, whose wife is this? Oh, they thought they had him. Just like the Christians come up to you and say, for God so loved the world. I got you. For God so loved the world. Now, they always think that they have you. Well, they thought they had him, but they didn't. Keep going.
Verse 29. Yahushua answered and said unto them, ye do err, not knowing the scripture.
Yeah, that's you Christians out there. You don't understand John 3:16, or God so loved the world. You don't understand abhor not an Edomite. You don't understand the countless scriptures that you think you can pull on us that contradicts what we have based our life on. Please believe this. We are far more into the truth than you are into your church. You barely even care about your religion.
Right.
You think you could ever know more about the Bible than us?
Right.
You eat pork and smoke weed and go to strip clubs. Do you think that you are more educated than us? We'll show you that. We'll show you tomorrow. We'll show you every day.
Right.
You err in not knowing the scriptures. Right. Keep going.
Ye do err, not knowing the scriptures, nor the power of God.
Stand by. You also don't understand the power of God. You think that this spirit that God created could die. It can't. You don't know him. You don't understand his power. In your mind, whatever you can't see and touch doesn't exist. Right. In your mind, because the body went into the ground and the worms ate it, it's over. In your mind, because he's dead, he must be living, with a harp and with wings up in some realm where you can't see him. You don't understand that what the Most High creates cannot die. It just gets a new house. That's it. You don't know the power of God, and you don't know the Bible. Continue.
Verse 30.
See me one more time, please.
Verse 30. For in the resurrection, they neither marry nor are given in marriage.
You see, in the resurrection, they neither marry nor are they given in marriage. Meaning what? I'll break it down in 1 second. They neither marry nor are they given in marriage. Keep going.
But are as the angels of God.
But are as what? But are as what?
But are as the angels of God in heaven.
What does that mean? There's precepts on this. There's precepts that tell you what the angels are like. Let's go. Now, if you need to, you can look up in the Bible dictionary where it says that one of them believe that you turn to angels. Paul battled them in Corinthians, the 15th chapter. because they believe that you became angels. And Paul said you do not. For the glory of the terrestrial is different than the glory of the celestial. Paul cut people that thought that we became angels. It's in 1 Corinthians 15. If you think that this is saying that we become angels, it is not. But you are like an angel in the reincarnation. And what is an angel like? That's all you need, Asher.
Pure and obedient.
Obedient, give him a hand. Pure, I'll take it. Meaning this, Akwati. When you come back, you're not bound to some marriage that you had in a former life, right? You're not bound to. I appreciate it. I appreciate that. When you're dead, that car is not yours anymore. Forget it. A lot of you got some dead grandmama. You think that's their car. That's not your grandmom's car. It's yours.
Right.
You understand? You got some house. You all afraid to go into the house because that's granddaddy's house. You think granddaddy is still in the house. You hear a noise at night. You think that's him. If it is him, he better get out of your house. Because no person after they're dead has anything that they own. Do you understand? It's over. These things belong to the living. So if you married someone in a former life and she dies and you die, it's over. That's it. You stuck it out until the end. No one is bound to some contract that you made in a former life. This is the one thing you're bound to. The same thing that every angel is bound to. You will come up, you come back exactly how he wants you to. Because that's what an angel does. Exactly what the Most High wants. So when you're born, you came here in this world exactly in the condition he wanted you to come back in. Asher.
Ecclesiastes 1 and 11. There is no remembrance of the former things, neither shall there be any remembrance of things that are to come with those that shall come after.
That's correct. Everybody understands that, all right? So Christians might pull this thing and this means, you become an angel. All you need is 1 Corinthians 15. All you need is they shall be as the angels of heaven. Even that is telling you that they're not angels. If you understand speech a little bit, right? Okay. If I say, man, he's like a dog, there's one thing I know he's not. A dog. Is that simple enough to get? If I say, man, he's like a dog, I know he's not a dog because you said he's like a dog. Because if he was a dog, you would say he is a dog, meaning he has 4 legs and he pees outside. Right. Someone that's like a dog is absolutely not a dog. So if we come back like angels of heaven, we absolutely cannot be. And I got to move on. Everybody understands, right? Can we go here? Any questions online? We still got the brothers. I need to get them if I need to. Let me know. Akim online. If you need to roll, let me know. All right. Let me know, and I'll get to you right now. Any other questions? You got it up.
So like sir, so you taught a class in Canada, maybe the year before last or last year, and you was talking about Christ ascending to heaven because he descended from heaven. Mm-hmm. And you got into when he brought up Numbers, the 21st chapter, when Moses lifted up the serpent, the brass serpent.
That's right.
So, and you was gonna get into it, but you ain't gonna get off topic.
Okay.
You was about to say, talk about the spirit behind Moses lifting up the serpent. Okay. So I was wondering if I could get that breakdown, and also like, why is it so symbolic at that time?
No problem. Okay. Do I need to explain to everybody what you're talking about? There's 2 precepts you need. That one I think is in Exodus or Deuteronomy, and the other one where Christ said, "As Moses lifted up the serpent, so shall the Son of Man be lifted up from the earth." All right. So let's go back to Moses first. All right. Okay. So I'll speed it up for you. All right. So Moses, there was a time when the Israelites were stricken with a terrible plague. Think like the COVID-19 virus, right? Come on.
Numbers 21 and 9.
So what? It's at Numbers 21 and 9 if you need to read it. If not, read it on your own. I'll just sum it up for you right now, all right? You need to see me over here. Can everyone see me? You good to go? Solid? All right. So now, there was a terrible plague, right? The people were being bitten by snakes. That was the plague. Remember, they were out in the wilderness, out in the mountains out here, like you got out here in California. You got tons of snakes up in their mountains, I can guarantee you. Well, these snakes was biting the hell out of the Israelites. It was a plague of snake bites. Everybody was getting bit by a snake, right? It was so much of a problem that Moses had to go to the Most High and do something about it. And here's what the Most High told Moses to do. He told him to fashion a snake made out of gold and to fashion it onto a stick and to hold the stick up over the people. And the people had to walk under the golden snake. And everyone that walked under that snake was healed. So imagine it was like they got a snake venom, what's that mess?
Rattlesnake.
What's that thing that they give you if you get bit by a rattlesnake?
Antivenom.
Anti-venom, right. It was like they got anti-venom for getting bit by a snake. All they had to do was walk under that snake. Now, Christ came on the scene. Christ said, so just as Moses lifted up the serpent in the wilderness, so shall the Son of Man be lifted up from the earth. He's saying, meaning if he goes up on high, if he's taken out of the earth, the people will be healed, right? The people will be healed that what? That walk under him. You get my point? Not everyone was healed from the snake bites. You had to walk under that snake to get healed. Now, here's what you need. Why wouldn't you walk under the snake? You want to understand this precept? You got to go straight there, young brothers. You got to go straight there. Whoever walks under this snake is going to be healed. Why wouldn't you walk under the snake? Why did the Most High just say, I'm healing everybody? Done. Right? Because he surely could have, right? But instead he said, you got to walk under this snake to be healed. Why wouldn't someone walk under that snake? Now be careful. Be careful. In the back.
That's like, so they don't believe that it'll work. They don't believe in the Lord.
Yeah, you're right there. You're walking down the street of it. You're right there. What were you going to say?
I was going to say the same thing.
Both of you are right there. He could have just said, walk under my stick. He could have just, instead of making a snake, he could have just said, walk under my hand. Right? And then if you walked under his hand, you would believe in the Most High. But he didn't say, walk under my hand. He didn't say, walk under my cell phone. He said, walk under this snake. Why? Asher? Asher, you probably already know the answer. Asher got all the notes. More notes than me. I come to him for the notes. Asher, what? Let me give them a shot, Asher. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Like a mic.
Microphone select.
Along the same lines, that gentleman was talking about, I'm thinking he wants to see who has faith in it.
Well, why didn't he? Why make a snake? Why not just say walk under my hand, walk under my stick?
Because I'm thinking it's kind of symbolized what's going on at that time.
Give me more of that.
Everybody's getting bit by the snake or those snakes.
So why?
I think he used a snake to show them.
Why? To show him what?
Not to be scared, not to be afraid of the snake.
Give him a hand. Yes. To make them battle fear. Fear. Because fear is worse than a plague. Fear. Being afraid. You know what happens when everyone gets bit by snakes? Take a guess. Everyone gets terrified of snakes. People, the minute someone fears something, the minute it hurts you, you're terrified of it. But here's the problem. Where are they living at? In the wilderness. Do you understand? They can't be cowards out there. They can't be terrified of snakes in the wilderness. Why? Because they got to get through this wilderness to get to the promised land. And what will stop them from getting through it? Fear. Paralyzing, trembling fear. Fear of snakes. Fear of not having enough food. Fear of not having enough water. The Israelites tried to go back to Egypt when they didn't have regular food, consistent food. They wanted to go back to Egypt. Give me that precept. Let us go back to Egypt where we had the flesh pots, where we had leeks and onions. They wanted to go become slaves again. You know what fear will cause you to do? If you're afraid of snakes in the wilderness, what's the obvious thing that they could have done? Go ahead and just say the obvious answer is right in front of your face. You're in the wilderness. You're getting bit by snakes. This is horrible out here. You could just end it by, say again, and going where?
Back to you.
Give him a hand. That's all. That's all. I know where they don't have wild snakes. In Egypt. Right? In Egypt, because if you're scared of snakes, Just go back to slavery. Right? There's comfort here in slavery, is there not? Do you think you can get all of your cigarettes outside in the wilderness? You think you can get all the weed you want if we were free? Think about that. You know how many pleasures you would never have if we were free? Right. You would never have all those different strains of weed you got down here. You got more weed than stars in the sky, with all of the different strains and flavors and tastes. Well, you don't get that out living out in the woods with nothing, fighting and striving and fighting with snakes for survival. You won't get you won't get 10 different kinds of blunts, 10 different strains of weed, 10 different brands of cigarettes mentholated, this kind of cigarette, grape flavored, strawberry flavored, gummy bears to your heart's content. You don't get those things as a free man. And the minute that trouble happens, the minute you get in a jam, you are going to beg for chains. You're going to beg for bondage. You're going to beg to hear a dinner bell ring and to know there'll be slop in a pot. You're going to beg for it when your stomach begins to talk to you. Nah, you're going to face your fear and then you'll be healed. That's the significance. Face it. Walk right under that snake, walk right into it, and you'll be fine. Run from it back to Egypt, and you're going to die in Pharaoh's hand. That's the point. Why didn't everyone follow Christ? He came. He was healing people. What did they say about him? We have no king, but Caesar. Right. That's the king we want. Why would anybody say we have no king but Caesar when Christ is healing the sick, raising the dead, turning loaves and fish into feed enough to feed 5,000 people? Why would you want Caesar instead of him? Well, let me guess. What about Caesar would make me prefer Jesus Christ, who just rose Lazarus from the dead? Why would the people want Caesar? Come on. What's the reason?
They feel as though they can get to him anytime.
Get to who?
Christ.
Who could get to him at any time?
Wow.
Mm-hmm. Now, that would be a reason to follow Christ, right? Imagine if you were sick and you were blind and he made you see. Forget about it. I mean, you would follow him anywhere you went, right? If a brother healed all of your problems and healed your sicknesses, you would absolutely follow him. Well, where was the blind man at when they went to take Jesus Christ? Not there. Where was Lazarus? You know who Lazarus is? Lazarus was this dead cat. Christ rose him from the dead. Where was he at the end? Gone. Christ went to be killed with 11 men. And one of them was not Lazarus. One of them was not the blind man. They weren't there. Why not? Okay, these things, you just need common sense. I can give you the precepts that say it. That says why no one was there. Peter denied Christ 3 times. Christ told Peter, listen, man, I know you're talking a ton of mess about how much you love me, but before the end, you will deny me 3 times. What did Peter say? Lord, never. Never, Lord. I will never leave the truth. I've heard that many times. 1,000 times. Then problems happen. Then trouble comes. Peter said, Lord, never. I will never. Then what happened? Oh, the Romans came and they had big, big knives, big swords, big armies. They went over to Peter and they said, whoa, I recognize you. You got the same language as him. You talk like him. Were you one of the ones with him? Hell no. I don't know who he is or what he's talking about. Me no comprende, carnal. Didn't know anything about it. And then another man asked him, no. I think I don't know him. You sure? I don't know him. And then he heard the cock crow. I'm a coward. I'm a coward. People were afraid to follow Christ out. They didn't want to get killed. They didn't want their families to hate them. They didn't want to go to jail. They didn't want to follow him because it was terrifying to follow him. Is anybody here? Does anybody know what I'm talking about? Just raise your hand. Yeah, everybody. Because to be in this school, you have to face fear. You're worried that, you're worried about growing your beard when you're officer of 50. You're worried about that. I remember, I must have sounded so dumb. I remember we used to get shape-ups. Y'all get shape-ups still? People in the world. And I remember being a trooper thinking, I have to get a shape-up or else I'm going to look so terrible. I mean, that was a big thing, to not get a shape-up, to not cut your hair every 2 weeks like a schedule. What are you going to look like? What will my job say? What will my job say? What will my mama say? If you can't face that fear, you can't serve Christ.
Right.
That's the point. Everybody gets it. Go ahead.
It's like, if I may, the Romans used the cross to put fear in the people.
Yeah. Yes, correct. That's what the Romans did. The Romans, like you ever see, you'll know just what I'm talking about if you're old enough. Remember Death Row Records? Death Row Records used to have a symbol of a man in an electric chair, and they would hang it around their neck. We were in the truth back then, and we thought that was so ridiculous because we were like, damn, that's what they killed your cousin on, that thing right there. And now it's like a symbol that's good, right, of a black man in an electric chair. To us in the truth at the time, it was just another stupid thing that brothers in the world would do. Well, if that's what they did 2,000 years ago. That cross are what their cousins and brothers were hung on. And in this case, what our king was hung on. You get my point? And it became a symbol that was a good thing. This cross. Yes, you're correct. Next, come on. Come on.
It's in the book of Numbers, chapter 14.
For what? Go ahead.
This is my last one, sir. Oh, never mind. My bad.
You sure? Up here, you got it up.
So, like, General, there's another, same brother has another question from Hadar Mafan Yahamuda. Salakia, General. In certain contexts, when we read and he worship him, what does it actually mean? Example, Acts 10 and 25.
All right, go ahead. After this, I'm going to get into the topic, all right, for the Yashikarais. All right. Go ahead.
Book of Acts, chapter 10, verse 25. And as Peter was coming in, Cornelius met him and fell down at his feet and worshiped him.
I got you. This is Cornelius meeting. Who did he meet again? Peter, right? Read one verse above it.
And the morrow, after they entered into Caesarea, and Cornelius waited for them, and he called together his kinsmen and near friends.
Mm-hmm.
Verse 25.
For time's sake, let me just give it to you. This is Cornelius falling at Peter's feet. Is that what I'm reading? All right. When it says worship him right now, think of it like, oh, I'm so happy to see you. Oh, thank you. The Most High sent you here. That's the worship in that context. Worship in that context is like him just falling down on the ground and just treating him like this is a man of God. Christ, let me give you the precept for this. There cometh a time when you shall not see God or hear God until ye say, blessed is he that cometh in the name of the Lord. That's a precept for this. Jesus Christ went to his own city to teach, and they rejected him. They looked at him like that's just, Joseph's son. And he comes from Nazareth, which was a ghetto. You understand? And they didn't believe that he had any power or that he could help them at all because they didn't view him the way that people viewed him in faraway lands. They didn't know him when he was young. But this place knew him when he was young. And they rejected Christ and didn't believe him. And Christ said this, the time cometh when you will not see the word of God or hear the word of God until ye say, blessed is he that cometh in the name of God. Meaning you're going to have to treat a man of God right, or else you're not getting God's word anymore. So that's what Cornelius is doing right here. He sees Peter, and he knows Peter represents the Most High God, and he's treating him like it. That's your breakdown. You understand? Just imagine seeing him like, Barakatah, Yahweh, I'm so glad you're here. Oh, thank you for coming. What can I do for you? Please come in my house. Please, I'm so thankful for you being here. He appreciates him. Everybody understands.
Oh, God.
Next. Let me get right here in the back. You got it. Come on. I got to get the brothers. Go ahead.
So like if I may, General, a brother made a post this week that had a lot of back and forth between the men and the sisters. And the topic basically was, if a woman is on her flower or pregnant, it's no excuse to be mean. All right? And
So a woman is like me being mean to her because she's on a flower?
It's no excuse for her to be mean to other people.
There's no excuse for her because she's like the whole, PMS thing. Is that what we're talking about?
Come on.
Okay, go ahead.
And just basically, I just wanted to see the breakdown on that.
Okay.
Is it a hormonal thing? They said a lot of the sisters were saying this is something that men can understand because they haven't been through this or that. Is it
Okay, well, what's the point? I'm missing the whole point. Is the point like just to create arguing, I'm assuming?
It was taken down.
In the back.
He's saying because you're going through this pain, you shouldn't mistreat people. That's what he's saying.
That's the point.
Yeah, it's like, oh, you're PMS. It doesn't give you an excuse to be mean.
Okay, did the sister say, yes, it does. We're supposed to be mean when we are. Sister said, nah, we supposed to whoop your ass when we on our period. Yeah, I'm fine. Listen, well, I've been drinking. You know I get it. I'll take it. What's the problem? What's the argument about? It's fine. All right. You know what? In many things in life, sometimes we're both right. She's right, and I've been drinking. So as long as we're going to be, tolerant of each other's weaknesses, you can tolerate some of mine too. And I'll tolerate yours. We're both right. Clap it up for women and men. We're both women. You're both women. Anything else? All right, next. Go ahead.
Counselor, well, what are your thoughts on the further progression of the war that's happening now? The Czech Republic sent soldiers to help Palestine. You got both U.S. and China having warships in the Mediterranean. You have the U.S. saying that they'll support the Philippines if they're attacked as part of their agreement with each other. What do you think? What are your thoughts about what's happening now? And what do you think? Who do you think will start to enter into the playing field?
And of course, there was another mass shooter yesterday out in Maine. Some cat, all super duper military trained. Esau's military trained. He killed 10 people and disappeared in 18 people. Unalived. 18 people. And then disappeared into the forest of Maine like Jason Bourne. Gone. Listen, that's straight out the Bible. The war over there in the Middle East, the wars and rumors of future wars that will happen, that people are talking about, actual shooting wars happening in Palestine, and tumults among the people. That's in the Bible as well. When you see masses of people protesting, that's a biblical sign. All right? The spirit of death is loose on this world. The red horseman. You read the Bible about the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse: the black horse, the red horse, the pale horse, right? The pale means sick in that way. What was another horse? The red horse, right? I believe the red horse was the spirit of war. And that spirit is loose in America right now, where you're going to try to avoid going to Palestine. If you go to the mall, you're getting shot. You understand? You can avoid Palestine all you want. You can avoid joining Esau's military. You can avoid going overseas. You're getting shot at the bowling alley. Why? Because the spirit of war is on the run. And it's running everywhere. It's a good thing for the freedom of our people. Because when our oppressor can go to the bowling alley and can go over the seas and can have his fun, he will forget that you are languishing in a prison cell. He'll forget you. And he doesn't remember anything until problems come in his face. He loves for his problems to be in Pelican Bay. His problems can be there and they're not happening. They're over there. So they're not happening. He's going to the bowling alley. Or he's going to the Middle East to steal more land. But when problems are in his face, then he wants to do something about this world. Now he wants to pass laws and fix things and make things better. And in the end, our king will return to make things better. Everyone understands. All right, that's what I'm just skipping the precepts, but there are 1,000 of them. I just quoted some just now. Tumults among the people, uprisings among the people. Okay, and so you're going to see it. That's wars and rumors of wars, which you're speaking about, with China and with Russia and all of that. That's all going to happen. All of it is going to happen because the Most High God has now decided to come and get his people, to come and deliver blacks and Hispanics out of bondage. Now, don't be afraid of it. Don't be scared. Face it. That's what Christ said. Christ said, you shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. Be ye not afraid. That's in the Bible. Don't be scared. Don't be scared. Get yourself together, man. Get off of drugs. How about that? Why do you think that prison is so filled? It's filled because of lust and temptation that our enemy puts in front of your face, and you don't have the strength to resist. That's why the prisons are filled. And now here you are hating Mexicans. Why? Because they come from what? 6 hours away from you? Because they come from the north? So that makes them somehow your enemy. Because they come from Texas. The brothers told me if a Mexican goes into a California prison from Texas, he has to leave or he's going to be killed. And so why? For what? Because you have to get high? That's why it has to happen. So he comes from the Bay Area. His family pick what do they pick down there in Northern California? Avocados in a field. So you're in Southern California, what? Doing what? What's the big job up here the Mexicans do up here in Southern California? Construction. Is that right? Work at a restaurant. So now because of that, you have to kill each other. For what? What are you even talking about? Maybe all of you should stop getting high. Maybe you would think clearer if you weren't drug addicts. I'm going to give you some precepts on this. Let me see who we got in the room tonight. Who do we have? We got Ayar and Yashikar. Give them a hand. Ayar and Yashikar, let me just try to sum up what you taught me about the war between the Norteños and the Sureños, right? Are you going to try to explain it to me? This is some battle that, well, can you tell me how it started? Let's start with Yashikar. Yashikar, you're from Texas. You're from the Texas area, correct?
Con, sir.
Are you familiar with it?
Sir, I am, sir. That's
Please,
one of them.
Now get our yard. Go ahead.
Con, sir. From what I know, sir, it's always been a lack of brotherhood. Everybody thinks they're different from each other, from different places, because they're from different places. There's a big gang here in Texas that started out in Cali because the brothers in Cali saw people from Texans different. So it became a big old hardcore gang over here.
Different how? Different in what way?
They just don't see us the same. We don't see each other the same. Could be the way we walk, the way we talk, the way we look. Even though we all look the same, it's that lack of brotherhood out of one. And every one of them gangs, all of them, they want to try to have a name that, simulates a brotherhood between Hispanics within Raza. They'll call themselves Aztecas or the Mexican, sindicatos, familiares, all of that out of one. But in reality, it's just hatred towards each other. That's all it is. We never had brotherhood. Prison gangs have never had brotherhood, and all it's done is just turned us against each other and made us think that we are different from each other when we're all actually the same.
Can you give brothers like myself from the tribe of Judah and other tribes, tell me about how it started, what happened to your knowledge? Can somebody turn that? Is that me or is that them? No sweat. Go ahead, Doc.
Salak, that one. Could you repeat that one more time, Baba Kasha?
Those are people like myself from the tribe of Judah or English speakers who might not have heard this story before because of the language barrier. You just tell us about what is it? What is the Norteño and the Sureño? What is it? And what is the problem between them? And tell me about it, the history of it, and where we are today.
Got another one. From what I know, sir, it's Norteños. They're the ones that be picking in the fields out of one. They're the ones that work out there in the sun, and most of them are just recent people that just crossed over here. From Southern, from what I know, the people in LA, you know, people working constructions, they're more in the city. So because of that, they think they're different from each other. Just because some of them live in the fields, others work in the city. That's from what I know, sir. They all run like military rankings, sir. They all got their soldados, capitanes, generales. They got people who got la palabra, the word. They're the ones pretty much running the show.
Ayar, what did you want to say? Same question to you.
Can you ask the question one more time, Baba Kasha?
Can you just let us know what is a Soreño or Norteño, and what is the origin of their, conflict that they have with each other? I'll get you right in the back after this. Go ahead.
Sir. Well, it's a Southsider Sureño is somebody that's a Mexican that's from southern side of California. So anything from Bakersfield on down and onto Mexico would be considered a southerner. And then somebody from Bakersfield on up all the way onto Oregon and Washington would be considered a norteño.
Okay, and why do they hate each other?
Just kind of like what Banyashkar was saying, a lack of brotherhood, being oppressed. One of the main reasons they started gangs because they were being oppressed from heathens. So they started it started off as brotherhood, just like every other gang. It started off as brotherhood, but because of the lust, because of Esau being a manipulator, we started departing from one another, and basically, they're kind of thirsty for power and authority. So there was separation between the two, and one started from Northern California, Norteño, and another brother from Southern California will be considered a Sureño or a Mexican mafia member or Laim.
And this is a very violent conflict, is it not?
So it's been going on for a while now. For many years, a lot of brothers and sisters has lost their lives behind this. So and it's still ongoing. It's slowed down a lot, but brothers and sisters still being unalive because of the two organizations.
Let me tell you, Akin, if I could, as a brother from the tribe of Judah, I absolutely understand and at the same time am baffled by how this happens every time. Our oppressor is cruel to us and hates us, and somehow the oppression from our oppressor turns into us hating each other.
Right.
And it happens every time. I'm very familiar with that. I understand that. And this is something that the tribe of Judah should see. We go through this exact same thing. Get Kazak the microphone in the back if you could. Shalom, Mori. I'm sure good to see you. Kazak, get the camera. Can you see him? Kazak, you want to say something?
Sponsor.
Please.
The Sureño Norteño whole thing is really started back in the 1930s, 1940s, when America made that border between America and Mexico. And what they did is they did the Treaty of Hidalgo, which allowed.
Come on up. You want to come up? You want him to come up? Oh, let the camera see you. Can they see him? Oh, go ahead.
Salam, y'all.
Good to see you, Warrior. Good to see you. Clap it up. He's been around. Go ahead.
So the Treaty of Hidalgo is a treaty that separated Mexican Americans from Mexicans. And what happened there is that the Treaty of Hidalgo promised Mexican people that live in the States the same rights.
They can't see you on camera because they got to see you right there. There you go. Go ahead.
That white people would have. And most Mexicans believed that they were going to become American citizens or become Americans. And they fell into the whole white man's
perspective of we promise you this. I'm pretty sure our black brothers and sisters, the Native American brothers and sisters, they all went through the same thing with this broken promise that one day we would all be the same as them, and we didn't become the same as them. And so the next thing that happened is we became enemies to each other because you spoke Spanish and I spoke English. We became separate. We became different. Because I was in America and you were on the other side of the border, I didn't see you the same no more. And it all came through when they started doing the Repatriation Act. And they began to deport Mexican Americans because they looked Mexican. They began to deport them to Mexico. And a lot of these Mexican Americans were here already. They were born here. They only spoke English. They spoke no Spanish. Not their fault, but because they're brought up here. And so they're deported to places like Mexicali. And if you know Mexicali, the heat there is worse than Texas or Las Vegas. And so a lot of these Mexican American people were dying in the deserts of Mexicali because the Mexican people didn't accept them because they were Mexican American. So this is where America destroyed us and made us see ourselves different as you're Mexican American and I'm Mexican. And it's very simple. You know, you can tell pocho. That's the word we use for Mexicans who are born here. It's pocho.
Pocho.
You know, you're pocho, which means you're Mexican American. And I'm Mexican. I'm raza, you're pocho. And the brothers who are Mexicans, they recognize this word. They know that, oh, el vato's pocho, he's a pocho. That means you're Mexican American. You're not the same as me. I'm raza, which means I'm Mexican. You know, the difference now is that time has passed, things have gone, and now most Mexicans today, this generation is proud to be Mexican. We're like, I'm from Michoacan, I'm from Jalisco, I'm from Zacatecas, I'm from whatever state my ancestors are from. And now we're proud to say we're Mexican. We're born in America, we're here in America, but we're proud to be Mexican. And the whole industry of music and everything, and the pride of singers who come with their, you know, their contraband and all that thing, is giving the pride back to be Mexican. But the Sureño Norteño thing is really a difference between you're from north and I'm from south. And El Sur is Mexico. El Norte is America. And if you hear music, it says, mi gente se va para norte. My people are going to the north, which means you're going to America. So if you hear corridos, if you hear music, you hear that word El Norte, which means I'm going north, I'm going to America. And a lot of people, you know, they go to the norte, me voy al norte because they're going to go work. They're going to go make money. They're going to feed their families. And one thing about Mexicans is that we make money and we send it back to Mexico. We feed our people in Mexico by working here. And it's a strange thing, but that's the way Hispanic people are. One thing that America knows is that a Hispanic man is hard to break his bond with his Mexican ways. We will always have our Mexican ways. Like it's something that's hard for them to understand that we will always be Mexican people. We'll always be around because we're so discriminated on that we realize what's what. And that's the difference between a Sureño and a Norteño. All this other gang stuff, well, that just came afterwards. That's just a gang thing. That's just
from prison.
Some prison thing. But the reality is that even in prison, there was border brothers, which are Sureños, and the M, like he said, but that's the Norteños. And so it's different. So if you go up north to San Jose, they're Norteños. And then you come south to California, to LA, and they're Sureños. And that's because up north, you know, you ask somebody from San Jose, are you Mexican? No, I'm born in LA. I'm born in San Jose. I'm born in San Francisco. I'm born in Texas. But you come to LA and they're like, yeah, you know, my dad's Mexican. And that's the difference between a Sureño and a Norteño.
Give him a hand. All right. Can you get up in the back? You can take the microphone back there. Go ahead. I'm coming back to you, Yashikar, in 1 second. I'm sorry, him right here? Who needs the mic? You got it up. Go ahead.
Maybe you can help me out, Cookout, but you spoke earlier about the prison system, just the politics in the prison. So when I was locked up, what I saw was something new to me, was Norteños, Sureños, and also you had Bulldogs and you had Paisas. Now the Paisas, from what I could understand, were Mexicans that were traditional Mexicans with the cowboy hat and the cowboy boots, but we were segregated like that. And also, I want to say is that from my experiences, 2 times I was cutting hair when I was locked up, and I had Israelites that wanted their haircut. They said, "Yeah, we're gonna get a haircut on this day," and then when that day came, they would say, "We can't do it. The politics, we're gonna get put on the."
That's
wall.
another California term that people from New York might not know. What does the term politics mean in California?
The politics are the rules of the prison system, where you got to stick with your people. You can't do any favors for anybody else. You can't take anything. Now, when it comes to Judites, the rules is you can get whatever you want from anybody else. But when it comes to the Woods, who are the Edomites, they call them Woods, or the Paisas or anybody else, they're very strict on what they can do with other groups. So when it comes to the Judites, we're just open. Like, we can make deals with people, we can do this, we can receive food, but other races, other peoples, they will be disciplined for that.
Do people in prison know why that is? Do they know why Judites are more loose and can do whatever they want, and the Mexicans or the white people in prison can't, or more militant? They're more strict? But my question is, in prison, do they know why that is? Why Judah is different than them in that aspect?
Sir.
I'm going to explain it. I'll explain that tonight. Tonight, I'll give you the reason. All right. I've heard that from brothers counseling me, like Yashikar and Ayar. They told me the same thing. And they said now what's beginning to happen in prison is that the northern and the southern Mexicans are coming together against the tribe of Judah, because Judah is so lax with rules and conduct and sexual misbehavior. And because of that, the northern Mexicans, who are the traditional allies of black people in prison, have decided just to team up with the southern Mexicans. All right. And the white people who are in prison, because of course, there's virtually no white people in prison. I looked it up today. There are 10 times more Mexicans and black people in prison than white people. 10 times. That's today. I'll explain why black people act the way they do in prison. So different than white people and Mexicans. What do you have, Warrior?
I'm going to go back to the Soreños and the Lucheños.
Please. Can they see him? They got him. Go ahead.
I know, like back in the 80s, you had the Mexican Mafia is only about 50 people in the Mexican Mafia. And from prison, they control the streets of Southern California. It's more like drug trade, because there's gangs. The Mexicans from the north, they're trying to do the drug trade that's in the prison. So they had a white boy in the Mexican Mafia. The white boy, one of the shot callers named Joe Morgan. So the southern Mexicans, they ride with white people. The northern Mexicans, you can tell the difference because they have more soul. They hang out with the brothers because they're up in the Bay Area with Oakland. Yeah, but the whole thing is like drug trade in the prisons is what they're doing. So you have like the blacks. There's different groups. You have Crips, Bloods, and BGFs. So the Soreños, what they were doing, they were fighting the BGFs and the Bloods. Because the Crips were so strong. I'm talking about back in the 80s. Yeah. The Crips were so strong, they didn't want to mess with the Crips. So the Crips said, as long as you don't touch a Crip, we don't care what you do. So they would, you see them attacking the black people, they were attacking everybody that was black that wasn't a Crip to show their power for the Mexican Mafia. What they were doing, they were showing the power that they had in the prisons because they were so deep in numbers. But the whole thing is drug trade. It's not all that other stuff. It's all about drug trade and controlling stuff. And the Mexican, it's only like 50 of them. The Mexican Mafia is only about 50 members. That's all there is. And they control the streets in Southern California. And they ride with the white boys because one of the shot callers is a white boy. So
that's what Ayar and Yashikar told me that same story.
Down here in Southern California, Mexicans hate black people. I mean, you have a few ex-cars here, but the majority go to East LA, they hate black people here. But you go up north, to Northern California, they like because they ride with black people. You see Mexicans that have soul. They're like soul brother Mexicans. They're different.
I understand. Well, once again, what the brother's describing is the culture, that brothers in the world have. Of course, we know in the UPK that Judites and Yashikarites are all brothers. We're all brothers, but he's just describing how they think in the world, and I appreciate you for that, warrior. Let me get this brother right in the back, please.
So I did, I have a little bit more recent experience. I don't know the origin, but you know what I mean? Like, I'm 2 months back from my brothers, but
give him a hand. You fresh out. Welcome home. Welcome home, bro. Come on.
But the Lord gave me a privilege to be able to teach the brothers from the tribe. You know what I mean? So, as far as politics goes, you have the Paisas and you have the homies.
What is a Paisa?
Paisa is a more of our brothers that are fresh to America.
Okay, they just came like last week, 2 weeks ago, a year ago. I got you.
Yeah, they don't speak. They don't really speak English that well. You know what I mean? They still, you know what I mean, in their culture. Now, homie is more a couple of generations in America, like probably about 2 or 3, and they're Americanized.
Okay.
So the homies, they run the card in prison. So
they run the what?
They run the card in prison.
What does that mean?
Run the card in prison means that they are the ones who are calling the shots.
The car, C-A-R?
Okay.
They run the car in prison?
Car, C-A-R-D.
C-R-D. Come on.
Can you just come up closer, brother?
Okay. The homies, and that's the Southern Mexicans, Soreño, and they run the C-A-R-D. But now here's a question that the brothers told me yesterday. Who is the one that has the keys?
The one that it's always a person that holds the keys that is it's one person.
But now I gotta stop you. Because are you sure it's not C-A-R? Because it would make sense. I'm done. Okay, so my apologies.
It's C-A-R-D.
Okay, C-A-R-D, no sweat. Yeah. But he does have keys to the C-A-R-D.
Now, holding the keys is
literally
exactly what they're talking about.
Okay.
They make keys in you know what I mean, and only the person that's running.
They make keys to what?
They make keys out of if I can get into detail, you know what I mean, they make it out of inhaler containers.
But keys to what?
It's a key to the cups. When you go to court, they take the keys off, and whoever has it's
the chosen people. It's the chosen people of God.
Right.
Give them a hand. All right. Hey, keys to the cups.
You pop the keys out, and the person gets to relax in the bus. Usually, you're chained up like, you know what I mean, like how we were on the slave ships.
Oh, so it's not keys to a car. It's a card. The keys are to the damn handcuff.
It's also a title too.
Okay, break it down.
You got to be high level to be able to hold the key.
Okay.
Right.
Go ahead.
Not everybody can have a key.
I hear you. Go ahead.
So, if anybody can have it. The brothers have keys. You know what I mean? Our Woods have keys, just like the brother was talking about. Woods are the Esau. So Esau is clicked up with the homies.
Okay.
So that is where the separation is coming from.
I got you.
The homies have to protect the Woods. So they have some type of contractual agreement that the protection comes from not the Paisas, but the homies. Homies protect the Woods.
But they don't protect the Paisas.
No.
So who protects the Paisas?
They have an agreement, but it's not. They can go at it at any moment.
They can fight each other.
Right.
I got you. Please continue.
It depends on what it is. I've seen it happen plenty of times.
Okay.
But it can go down for them at any moment. I've seen it go down with them a couple times. But as far as the Woods, it does not go down because there is something about what you were saying, Adawan. They have some type of structure where the Woods have a control of the homies where they can't. You know what I mean? They can't
And how do the Woods? What's the relationship between the Woods, the Edomites, and the prison guards? The prison guards, I'm assuming, are mostly Edomites. Am I right? Or oppressors?
Not really.
Not really.
Not really. It depends on where you work, what area you work.
Okay.
But as far as when it comes to the high ranking, it is Edomites.
Okay.
So the Edomites control our brothers to make sure that they keep our brothers around. So,
go ahead.
Edomites if they have any type of issues or troubles, they're protected by ISCAR. They make sure that they, you know,
Slide in the middle, just so they can see you real fast. Huh?
Council.
Right there, you got it. Go ahead.
So they'll be protected by them. They don't have any issue with it. Now, when it comes to Judah, we really don't play that. So if we tell them, well, I mean, it depends on where you are. It depends on what the situation is. But there was a situation where Judah had to let it be known that the woods have to go, and the woods left. There was absolutely no more woods in that where we were at. But it's different depending on where you're at. But homies and Wood they do have an alignment together. And it's our oppressors using our brothers to try to manipulate us, because when it comes to the Judite brothers, we're called the brothers. We're called the bros. Okay. And it's brothers and others. So we take in everybody who's not Paisa or homie. We'll take in Samoans. We'll take in Asians. We'll take in Indians. We'll take in anybody who's not a part of the other car.
And what about the numbers in prison? What are the numbers like in California prison, of course?
So when it comes to numbers out here, personally, it's ISCAR is the highest. They're the ones that pretty much run the whole thing.
And in the 80s, I'm assuming that there were more Judites in prison, a whole lot more.
Yeah, they started the three strikes law.
The three strikes law, right?
Young brothers, hundreds.
Everybody was in prison, right.
One murder and 10 guys because
one murder, 10 people get arrested because they were in the same car.
Yeah,
and were doing a drive-by. I got you. That's correct. So that's how it was in the 80s in California. And now, of course, it's a lot more Mexicans. And that gives me the one point I want to make sure brothers understand. In prison now, there are a lot more Mexicans in prison. And there are less Judites in prison, right? Now, it is the worst thing in the world for you to be the strongest race in prison. That is a terrible thing. It's terrible. And I hear brothers talk about it like, there's so many Mexicans in prison. There's so many of them. That's terrible. That's terrible. That's a terrible thing. I hear the northern Mexicans and the southern Mexicans are coming together against the Judites because there are fewer Judites in prison. Yashikar, be careful, because I've seen this happen with my tribe. I've seen this. I've noticed. I read a book on the plane over here, brother, called the 1619 Project. It's an excellent book, right? It's about slavery, how slavery started in America in 1619. This is what I read on the plane, that in the 1600s, free Judites were not allowed to speak to or talk to enslaved Judites. They weren't allowed to speak. You can Google this. A slave would be punished if he talked to a free Judite, and a free Judite went to jail if he was caught speaking to a slave. So imagine you're from Boston or New York and you go to Mississippi. If you were talking to an enslaved black person, you ended up in prison. And I come from a tribe that is historic for hating each other. You understand? And Mexicans and South Americans, you don't understand yet, like you will understand once you've been here longer. Once you are Americanized enough, you are going to hate each other because of shades of complexion that you don't get now. You don't even understand. You don't get how much we killed each other because you were dark and I was light. That happens. And because you're from the east side, west side, because you're from this city, that city. When I was young and a terrible person, I was harming people that I could see from over there. I was looking at it, up there. I mean, literally, I'm on a corner selling drugs. And my enemy, the worst enemy in the world, I see him selling drugs right up that hill. If you go back farther enough, he's from west, east, he's from south, north, whatever. Mexicans, the longer you're here, the longer you're exposed to our oppressor, the more you will become the thing that you hate. You'll become that. And to be winning in prison is terrible. To be the prison population where there are so many of us in here. This is another thing that if you're from the East Coast, it's hard to understand because on the East Coast, when you go to jail, you lose power on the streets. You understand? Like going to jail means no one listens to you anymore. You're locked up. You know, you're from Queens, New York, the Bronx, and you run things. When you go to jail, it's like you're dead. It's like you're gone. And no one has to listen to you. No one cares about you. You're gone. Out here, this is a strange thing if you're from the East Coast. Going to jail means you're more in charge of the outside, which is not like that with other tribes, other cities, other states. It's not like that. Going to jail means forget him. He's gone. He's done. Forget him. Now I'm in charge. Going to jail in California means you are more, your life is controlled by people who you will never see again, who will never come outside again. That is a particularly California cultural problem that does not exist other places. You understand? In the back. Let me get Ayar first. Ayar, was this something you wanted to say?
La, sir.
No, sir. Yashikar?
Con mi general. That's what you say, out of one, because it really be like that, sir. You know, when vatos in the streets, they get in gangs and all that. It's a career, out of one. And our goal is to go to prison and run it. Our goal is to climb up the rankings and run the show. It's not over just because you get locked up. It's barely beginning. That's the beginning of your career. Out here where I'm from, you know, if you ain't cartel or if you ain't in prison, then you pretty much ain't nobody. But then once you go to prison or you're associated with a certain cartel, you mention a few names, you give them a few, you know, so the info that they need. Everybody requires certain info to verify who you are and where you're from, you know, and then you'll get a bit of respect. You know, that's how, when your career begins. Once you go, it's like college, out of one. Once you go to prison, you're going to college, and you're going for a PhD, a major. That's pretty much how we see it out here, out of one. That's it, out of one to one.
Listen, that's an amazing thing, and I'm trying to warn the tribe of Yashikar. Winning in prison is the most terrible thing in the world, because you understand what that means. Meaning there are so many of you in here, so many of you that you control the place, which means you are a slave now. And the young people outside want to be slaves. They want to be fed at a certain time of the day. They want to be locked in a cage. I'm from the tribe of Judah. I remember that. I remember looking up to people that were in jail and wanting to be just like them and thinking that jail is how I earn my respect. I remember it so clearly. If you look down on the Judites in prison because they're weak and they have no morals and they don't program well, that's going to be you in a second. Once there's enough of you in there and you've been in America long enough, before you know it, here you go. Winning in prison is terrible because it means your brothers and sisters and family members are in jail. And that is terrible, Locke. It's hell. It's being in hell. I got to get to my precepts. Who had their hand up? Go.
Like, you know, I just wanted to, I don't touch the time, but I just wanted to add on.
Can they see him? Go ahead. Let me get you on camera. See me one more time, Warrior. Do what?
So you asked why, you know, Daniels and the Sureños hate each other. Another thing, right, is for lack of a better term, sir, loyalty.
Bring it up. Bring it down.
They're loyal to their gang, you know what I mean? So they love their gang so much, they automatically know that, you know, a North Sider is my enemy, a South Sider is my enemy. I gotta hate them. You know what I mean? Just like, you know, when Black and Brown joined Esau's military, they already automatically hate the Afghans, hate the Iraqis. You know what I mean? So because of that, you know, that blind loyalty, they're already going to hate them without question, without, you know.
That was going into exactly what I was going to say. Give him a hand to back up and to back up what Officer Kazak Yad said in the back. Okay, let me break it down to you simple as I could. People in prison are just trying to survive.
Right.
That's it. The alliances like the Sureños having an alliance with the Woods and the white people, they're surviving. So the things that they do are not done because there's some standard or it's cultural. These are brothers in prison who are just doing whatever they have to do to survive because they are in literal hell. So what are the Judites doing? Because the Mexicans outnumber them, what are they doing? Accepting Chinese people. Why? Because they love Chinese people? Because they need the manpower. They're accepting anyone who is not accepted by the Mexicans, by the Sureños or Norteños. Why? Not because it means anything, but because it's prison. And in prison, you have to do certain things to simply stay alive. One of those things is numbers. You're going to have to just find a way to get your numbers up, or else you're going to die. You're going to be pushed out of the prison. And now to let that control out here is sad, because the things they're doing are simply what anyone would do in a desperate situation. You understand? In a terribly desperate situation, they're not thinking about, right and wrong. Who could? Who could care about right and wrong when you're in jail? You're going to have to think about, how can I eat? How can I survive? How can I not get stabbed? And you're going to do that. Now, when you're winning, it means that your family is in prison. Your family is here. You are losing life if you're winning in jail. You know who's winning life? Who's not in jail? Brother, you just came home, right? Who would you be surprised to see in there?
Gotta be the Woods. So.
Give him a hand. They're winning in life. Do you understand? Because they're not in jail. Because they are not strong in jail. Because they don't have numbers. How many East India, people from Pakistan or India, the people that own these stores that I've been in since I've been down here, how many Koreans do you have in there? Many Koreans in the prison?
So
yeah.
Out of 77, there was only one.
They're winning in life because there's none of them in jail, which means they're winning. The people you would never see, the people that are so few that they have to join another race. Damn, that's how few of them is in jail. They're winning. You understand? They're the winners. The people that cannot survive in prison, the people that can't go to jail, they are winning in life. Why are they winning in life? Because they have not been taught to give themselves over to the lust of their mind. They're not in desperation every day. They're not in poverty every day and smoking and drinking to relieve themselves of depression every day. So they're weak in jail, which means they're winning in life. Does everyone understand? Who else wanted to say something? Let me get in the back right over there.
If I may, General, when you were talking about how the leaders are in prison, the Nuestra Familia, who's over the Norteños, they have it in their constitution that the leaders have to be in Pelican Bay. And the California State Prison shipped them to another state, and it was an internal war because they didn't want to follow their leadership anymore. So they had to replace the leaders with someone that was in that exact prison.
Smart, but they got to survive, right? They got to survive. They need people outside to help them inside, give them money and help things that they need. Makes sense. It absolutely makes sense. And those brothers are trying to survive in there. Kazak. Give Kazak the mic. The water.
And I just want to add, Adawan, that, Hispanic brothers, I know we're hearing all this stuff about the difference between Hispanics and the black brothers, but just to let you know that Hispanic brothers have a lot of respect for the black brothers.
No sign correct.
And regardless what people may think, Hispanic brothers, when it comes to choosing between a white brother and a black brother, we always choose the black brother first.
No sign
because
correct.
we grew up in the same neighborhoods. We grew up the same way. We grew up the same everything. So when it comes down to it, we know who we give respect to. And it's kind of difficult now because of all that's going on. But the reality is that we've always been one, and I'll go back to the biblical times, that Issachar always stood first with Judah in all the wars.
Give him a hand. That's
we
a
were
fact.
the first ones to always come out and side by side. And that spirit always comes down to even this time, that even when it comes down to it, even though we fight amongst each other, but Hispanics fight amongst each other in ourselves.
Salon.
We have to do that. But even though we do that, it always, that's why we're here. Yeah. That's why you see Hispanic brothers in
forget about it.
is because we know that we in the right place because blacks and
Hispanics,
we won regardless of what it is.
Biendicho, well said, Aki. That's a fact.
Salaki, sir, if I
I'll
could.
put this for the fact, so you brothers that don't know to see what Kazak Yada is speaking about. David himself said that he would have never won the throne without the tribe of Yashakar. That's in the Bible. He would have never won. He would have never gained the kingdom, the throne of Israel, without the tribe of Yashakar, without the Mexicans, and that's in the Bible. Everyone understands. Go ahead and hand up over here, somebody. I can't see you, warrior. Where you at? Sock it, please. What do you want to say?
I just want to say too, like hearing what brothers are talking about, it seems like in prison is where Issachar teams up with, like, it seems that in prison is where Issachar teams up with Esau.
Yeah.
But I know from the neighborhood where I grew up and the gangs that were there, you don't see that. You see, it's like it would be a gang that hates a black gang.
Gotcha.
Blood gang and the Mexican gang, and the Mexican gang would write on the wall "NK," and killer, right?
Say the word.
Nigger killer.
Go ahead.
Right. And then,
Remember, that's another thing. Mexicans can say nigger.
right. That's right.
Free yourself from that. Free yourself from that. Free yourself. I'm going to, about the tribe of Judah. Whoever is allowed to say nigger is a nigger.
Right.
So you Mexicans, when you're at camp, you have got to say nigger. It tells us you're one of us. You get my point? It's like, oh, he said nigger. He said it like he didn't give a damn, which means he's a nigger.
Right.
Do not shy away from that. Don't do that. The minute you say N-word, it said, oh, he ain't black. He said N-word. I'm trying to educate you. Black people like confidence. You understand? Like they're heavy into confidence. So if you say, you niggas better stop that shit, black people will go, right. Must be black. He said it. But if you say N-word, it's like, oh, N-word. Okay, you're white. I see you're a white man. So remember, and especially if you're I know some of you brothers, you go to camp and you're teaching black people. Don't teach them like they're a different race than you. Do not do that. You got to step into a Judite. You niggas better stop selling drugs. You niggas better stop doing this. You got to say nigger around black people, or else you can't say nigger around black people. And if you can't say it, there's a reason for it. And dare anybody to challenge you on it. Tell them, I can't say nigger. I can't. In the fields, my grandmother's in fields now. We're in the fields right now in California. I can't say nigger. I'm wrong to say nigger. Huh? And listen, a brother's going to say, my bad, so go ahead and say the shit. You know, what the hell? You stepped into it. You had so much confidence, you must be a nigger. Please, continue. I'm sorry to interrupt you.
Just real quick.
Go ahead.
Like y'all said, right?
Go ahead.
They would write that, and then the Judite gang would write and Mexican killer. But
So then,
I would see Judites in that Mexican gang, and then Mexicans in the black gang.
Yeah.
So it's like in the streets where we come together, prisons where we.
Yeah, the prison, once again, they're just doing whatever they have to do.
Right.
And you can't blame them for whatever they're doing in jail. Whatever somebody's doing in jail, they got to do it. Yeah, how in the hell are we going to sit and judge what they can do in prison when they doing whatever they got to do? You got to team up with white people in prison. So what? You're trying to survive in there. God damn, if you got the black gang, you got to invite some Chinese people into that gang. Do it. You got to survive. What are you going to do? Die? You got to survive. So the problem is they're doing what they have to do. In the Israelite school of UPK under Commanding General Yohana, we're going to free you from prison. We're going to get you out of prison. That's our goal. Now, while you're in there, do what you have to do in there. Do what you got to do in prison. But our job is to open the prison house. It's to open the doors. It's to get you out. Now, while you're in, you do what you got to do, brother. Who the hell is going to challenge you on it? No one can, because they're not living the way you're living in there. Everybody understands. Come on now.
So like in general, just one more thing I wanted to touch on.
Go ahead.
Another issue that I guess you could say is describing the problem between black and brown, right? Is what's circulating on the internet with a lot of street vendors getting attacked by Judites. And right there, when that situation happens, all the hatred that Mexicans have for Judites is brought out in the comment section, and then that whole issue, right, was saying nigger, was saying the N-word. That brings out a lot of Judites charge Mexicans like, you can't say that because you're not black. Yeah. You're not one of us. Yeah. Then it comes with groups like what's called the FBA or the Foundational Black American, and guys like Tariq Nasheed who come at the so-called Hispanics. So you can just see, because of our oppression, that we've been pitted against one another, and that hatred just thanks to social media.
And that's a big thing online. Well, I'm glad you brought that up. Give him a hand. Where's Captain Desar? Is Captain Desaryak here? Captain Desaryak is in the back. You've seen him before. You know who he is. Let me tell you something about Desaryak. Captain Desaryak is at the spear tip of this school for Commanding General Yana. He stands in the vanguard of this school. He is excellent and well loved. Well, tomorrow, Captain Desaryak is going on the Adam 22 podcast. Right. Who knows what the hell that is? No Jumper. Have you heard of No Jumper, young men? Do you know what No Jumper is? No Jumper is some devil who's about as nasty as the Lord is mighty in heaven. And he's done one good thing in his life. He invited Captain Desaryak to come on No Jumper tomorrow with Tariq Nasheed. He'll be on there with Tariq Nasheed tomorrow. Captain Desaryak, just like Commanding General Yohana, he stands with the Mexicans. He stands with the Guatemalans. Right, he stands with the brothers and sisters from El Salvador. That's right. He stands with them. He's going to stand with them tomorrow. Right. Please, I pray you understand. I pray you understand. And I'm just trying to show you, I'm trying to teach you brothers and sisters from other tribes. You cannot allow black people telling you that you can't say nigger to make you not say it. You have got to step into them. Don't think I can't say spick. I'll say spick all effing day if I want to. I'll say wetback all day if I want to. Challenge me on it. Listen, tell me, you give me some Mexican leader that loves Mexicans more than Commanding General Yohana. Show him to me. Show it. Show me the one that loves Mexicans more than Commanding General Yohana. If you got some preacher or some Catholic priest that you think loves Mexicans more than Commanding General Yohana, I'm waiting. You can bring him up here. We'll see. No problem. We're up for the test. What I believe is this, that there is no leader on the planet Earth at this time that loves Haitians more than Commanding General Yohana, that loves Mexicans, Guatemalans, El Salvadorans, Hondurans, the tribe of Judah, black people, more than Commanding General Yohana. And I won't be separated from my family. Right. Mexicans are my family. Right. I'm going to act like I belong there. Yeah. You understand? I'm just going to act like I'm supposed to be there, eating with you, sitting with you, because I would die for you. Now you show me someone that can say that. Everybody understands. All right. If not, you should challenge us on it, all right? Let me give you a few precepts that might help you further. Someone give me Psalm 69 and 33. And then Psalms 146 and 7. It got to be 3 a.m. It got to be. You're barely awake. Sisters, I don't know what the hell you still doing in here. Give yourselves a hand. Sisters in here. God damn. How are you, Steve? Drinking pots of coffee back there? You're staying up. You found a way to stay awake. Don't tell. I ain't forced you to. You decided to. Don't tell on me. Go ahead, brother. What you want to say, y'all? You got that precept for me. I appreciate you.
This is the book of Psalms, chapter 69, verse 3. I am weary of my crying. My throat is dry.
Hold on. Let me make sure I'm at the right one. 33. Psalm 6. What verse are you at right now? What are you reading from right now?
Psalm 69, that was 3. You say 33 on the one?
33 is good too, though. I'll give him a hand for 3. 3 was strong. I wasn't planning on going there, but 3 was strong. Give me 33. Give me 30. Give me 32.
This is the book of Psalms, chapter 69, verse 32. The humble shall see this and be glad.
The what?
The humble shall see this and be glad.
Let me tell you, blacks and Latinos, the Bible says the humble shall see this and be glad. The term humble in that context is like low people, people that are poor and suffering and dying. They're going to see what you're doing on the street, and they're going to thank the Most High for you. They're going to thank the Lord for you because you're doing something that no one else cares to do or has the will to do. You actually care about people that are suffering when you're not in the same condition. You care about them. You feel for them. People love for someone to be locked away in jail so they can forget them, so they can not care about them. They love that because then now you're not their issue anymore. They're humbled when they're poor, when they're suffering, when they're in prison. They're humble. The humble shall see this and be glad. Continue.
And your heart shall live that seek God.
And your heart shall what?
Live.
And your heart shall live that seek God. There are so many things in jail and on the streets that you think you have to do to survive, right? I just brung it out. When you're in prison, you're trying to survive. So what do? You unalive people because you think you have to survive. I completely understand that. You harm people because you think you have to survive. You steal. You lie because you believe you have to survive. What if you found out that the only way to survive is to obey God? I believe you would do that with as much zeal. I believe if you actually believe, and I've got to give up drugs or else I'm going to die. I have got to give up hating my people or else I'm going to die. I've got to give up crime or else I am going to die. If you believe that you had to obey the Most High for the sake of your life, I know you would do it because I see the things you do to survive. I see how you do it in other ways. The problem is in this world, we don't know that the obedience to God is directly tied into survival. We know that stealing, lying, killing is directly tied into survival, but we don't know that God, being obedient to God, is directly tied to surviving. The UPK is trying to teach you that. We're trying to teach you to survive. We're giving you practical knowledge. You understand? Information you need to survive. It's practical. It's practical. It's useful to survival. Continue.
And your heart shall live that seek God.
And your heart shall live if you seek God. If you decide instead, your whole life is what? Wrapped around getting high. I remember being in the world, and I see brothers in the world today. You're like a cow looking for grass. That's the way you are with drugs. You get up in the morning. You need a blunt in the morning. You need to smoke weed immediately when you wake up. And the rest of your day is in search of getting high. Like a cow looking for grass or a horse trying to find grass. That's your life. Why is your life like that? Because you were taught that, because that was your father's life. That was the life of your family. If you want to live, you're going to have to think about something else other than getting high. You think about getting high all day because in your mind, this is what I have to do to make it through the day. I need drugs or else I can't make it through the day. What if you knew that obedience to God is the only way you can make it through the day? You're going to have to be strong. You're going to have to face your fears. And if you do that, you're going to live, and not just live, but have life more abundant. Have a better life than the one you gave up. Have a better life than your father and your uncle and your mother. To really live. As I sit here today out in this chair, and I think about myself in the world, sometimes I can't even believe what I've been allowed to do since I came into the truth. I can't even believe it. And I know every day I don't deserve it. The fact that they let me on a plane is insane. That they let me get on a plane. I remember being young and thinking, well, clearly I'll never get on a plane because I'm getting arrested in the airport. If I walk into an airport, every brother knows what I'm saying. Remember that time when you came into the truth and just pulling out your ID terrified you? Raise your hand if you know what I'm talking about. Just the fact, Kai, I know you know. The just Kai wear a fake mustache and a wig if he leave out the house. When he first came into the truth, he wore a fake mustache and a wig. Okay, his face meant he was going to jail. I mean, can you imagine? The fact that I show someone my ID is a miracle. Because there was no way you were seeing the ID from me. I wasn't getting the ID because I wasn't showing you an ID because knowing my name meant I went to jail. And I'm here with you in California. Brother, you better come on in. You better live. You better change. Because if God let me in here and I'm worse than you, I've done worse things than you. Do you understand me? Worse than you. And I'm here. What could you do? Something better than me? Something better than me. If you want to live, you serve the Most High God. Continue.
Verse 33. For the Lord heareth the poor.
Read that again.
Verse 33. This is the book of Psalms, chapter 69, verse 33.
The what?
For the Lord heareth the poor.
Listen, man, that's a miracle. That's something that you didn't know in the world. You were mute. You thought God didn't hear you, didn't notice you, didn't hear your prayers. You're the only one he hears. God hears the poor, man. He hears you. He hears you. God heareth the poor. Go ahead.
And despiseth not his prisoner.
And he does, read that again.
And he despiseth not his prisoner.
Listen, I know you had to go to prison. I understand. And now because of it, you're ashamed. If you write it on an application, you can just not even put the application in.
Right.
You might as well just not even hand it in. Because the minute you got to say felon, just rip the thing up and throw it in the I mean, what's the point of even applying? You didn't get in the damn clip-on tie. I remember that clip-on tie. You going, oh shit, I'm gonna get this job. Say what? You don't want? You want me to leave? Leave now. F you. You gonna kick me out the minute I walk in the damn office. All right, brother. The Lord hears you. No one else does. No one else cares about you. No one else wants to know you. But the Most High God does. He hears the poor, man. Read that after hears the poor.
And despiseth not his prisoner.
No, you're not going to be hated because you had to go to jail. You're not going to be hated because of the things you did in prison. Who cares? Who cares? And here you get a fresh start. And here we start over, man. You won't be hated by the Most High God. The Most High God does not hate prisoners. He doesn't hate you because you've been locked up. He doesn't hate you because of the things that you did for survival. As long as you're willing to do the things you have to do now for survival. Everyone understands. Where's the last one? Where's the last one? The one I said earlier. Do you recall? It was in Psalms as well. Psalms 146 and 7. And then write these down for me, Yakim, so I don't forget. Psalms 146 and 7. Isaiah 42 and 7. Oh, and then Proverbs 3 and 1. 3 and 1. That's too many. Hold on. Just write those ones down that I just gave you. I'm wrapping it up. Any last questions? Yashakar, Ayar, did you want to say anything, Akim?
Con, sir, just real quick, you know what I mean? I just want to say, you know what I mean? Like back on what we're talking about, you know, the prisons and how Mexicans hate blacks, black hate Mexicans, Mexicans have the woods, the Edomites back. It really comes down to this other one, like the blacks and Mexicans, we live right next to each other. We are brothers. You know what I mean? Whatever a Judite goes through, a Mexican goes through. You know what I mean? So a lot of the times, like Mexicans and blacks, we do trade. We do talk to each other in prison. But we both understand that they're behind an organization. And it's not at this point, it's not really like a racial thing. Like we both understand, like, for example, if they're about to go into a riot, you know, the Judite or Esquire will talk to the Judite and let him know that, hey, once the riot pops off, you know, you go that way, I go the other way. But if it comes down to it, we're just gonna have to get busy. So we live next to each other. Whatever the Judite is going through, the Esquire is going through it too. We are the same people. But it just comes down to these organizations, like you said, are one of its survival. It's not really necessarily a racial thing. Yeah, racism does have something to do with it, but it's the organization that they're standing behind. You know what I mean? A lot of the members that are, you know, the Mexican mafia, that wasn't given. Whoever that person was, they had to earn that rank. You know what I mean? If it was an Edomite, they had to unalive brothers and sisters, had to take certain operations in the streets. He earned that rank. You know what I mean? But what I'm trying to say is, other one, that is not really necessarily a racial thing. Israelites do not hate Judites. We understand that behind we have to.
And there's, I think with the brothers and sisters and the Judites absolutely understand that. And that's the point I would like all of you to understand. And even those organizations like MA and the Noreste, what's the name of it again with the N? Norteño and Sureño, they've been around since the 30s, which means they have found a way to survive. Even the organizations are just doing what they have to do to survive. There's no reason to hate them. There's no reason to hate those prison gangs and prison organizations. Why? If they're still here, then what does that tell you about them? That they did what they had to do to survive. Your brothers in jail from the Crips and the Bloods and what's the gorilla one you brought up earlier? The Black Gorilla family. Are they still here? Are they still around? What does that tell you then? That they did what they had to do to be here, to survive. Why hate them for that? Why hate some brother locked away for the rest of his life for finding a way to make some life for himself in prison? And if he formed an organization that facilitated his life, brother, if I can get the keys to some handcuffs, I might do something to get those keys to the handcuffs. You understand? Damn, wouldn't you like to have the handcuff keys? Have you been in handcuffs before? Listen, they use 2 on me. 2 handcuffs. The day they use 1, I will be upset. I will know that you brothers have took up too much of my time. The last time it was 2 cuffs. All right? If you could not be in those terribly uncomfortable, horrible handcuffs, and you're going to be in them for the rest of your life, why wouldn't you do something to do that? Why hate La M? Why hate the Norteños and the Sureños and the Gorilla family when they're just doing what they had to do to survive, to try to make it from day to day? Here's your obligation. Let's do something so brothers don't have to go to jail.
Right.
It seems simple to me, right? I know once you're in there, God knows what you'll have to do to survive. But you know, you could do something to open the prison, to let everyone out. Now we don't have to just survive. We can actually live. We can actually live if we're not in jail. Now, here's the key. To live, to not go to jail, you'd have to stop committing crime. Done. You'd have to say, I'm not getting high anymore. I'm not doing drugs anymore. I'm not being an alcoholic anymore, because this alcoholism, these drugs, mean I have to go to jail, which means then I'll do anything to survive. You have to keep brothers out of prison. The UPK, the Muslims are strong in prison. Are they strong in the West Coast in prison? Not as well. You should see them on the West and East Coast, brother. Prison is a Muslim haven. A Muslim haven. You give me some cat that ate pork every day. 6 months in jail, he's Allah Akbar banging his head on the ground with a carpet. 6 months in prison. You sisters, you going to jail too, you know. Women are in jail at an amazing rate, especially Mexican women are going to jail at an amazing rate. Who can guess why? Blow my mind. Why are women going to jail now like crazy? Drugs. Drugs. They're going to jail because they're getting high, they're on drugs, they're addicted to drugs, and they're having babies in prison like it never happened before. If you get off of drugs, then you are so less likely to be in jail fighting to survive in any way you can. Does everyone understand? Let me keep going. Yeah, Ayar, was that it, or you wanted to say something else?
Khan, sir, you know, yeah, Khan, sir. I know that social media likes to push the prison politics, you know, and they say that, like, for example, like they Adam 22. At one point, Adam 22, just like the rest of social media platforms, they're trying to have like a racial thing between blacks and browns. They're pushing that for the black people and the brown people to go to war against each other. They never talk about the peace treaties that they have with one another. They don't talk about the peace that they have with one another, the conversation they have with one another. They like to push the black and the brown going to war against each other. Just like, for example, Adam 22, at one point he was pushing black and brown hate. There was an individual called American Cholo where he had to go to his podcast to kind of clean up after what Adam 22 was trying to how you say it, he was causing problems. You know what I mean? So Adam 22 was trying to say that the blacks and Mexicans don't really like each other, but there's a lot of misunderstanding with these social medias are the one. But like I was saying before, that blacks and Mexicans, we do get along. There's a lot of Mexican gangs where they have a lot of Judites in, especially in South Central. There's a lot of Mexican gangs that Judites are involved in, and vice versa. You know, there's a lot of Mexicans in black gangs too. You know what I'm saying? But the social media is trying to push black and brown hatred out of one. And I know Adam 22, he's guilty of that. You know what I mean? But what I'm trying to say out of one is that blacks and Mexicans, we do get along. You know what I mean? And then when I heard a brother say that the Mexicans back up the Woods, you know, or that organization. I would say more a certain individual. You know what I mean? Mexicans did not, especially the Mexican mafia, did not back up the Woods. You know what I mean? It might be a certain individual because maybe they're making business, but Mexicans and blacks, we definitely get along out of one, in and outside of the prison.
You especially get along in the Israelite school of UPK, don't you?
That's right.
And Ayar, let me ask you a question. I know that you had a lot of loss in your life because of drugs and crime. Am I right?
Absolutely, I don't want.
Was it your mother and your father?
Khan.
Let me tell you, this brother Ayar. Let me tell you something too, Ayar. Ayar, I am very impressed with your growth in the truth. I'm absolutely impressed with you. I'm proud of you. Let me tell you. This cat here, Ayar. Okay, what we're talking about tonight has directly touched his life. This man lost his mother and his father because of crime and violence, and had a dark childhood. I mean, his whole life was drugs and violence until his mother and father were unalive because of it. And this brother went through all of that and ended up here. And let me tell you, and Ayar is the evidence that you can flee from life, you can flee from death into life.
That's right.
You can flee from it. Look at him now. Ayar, let me tell you something, brother. Let me tell you, you've had the strength that your father always wanted you to have.
That's right.
That your mother always wanted you to have. You've done it, and I'm proud of you, brother.
I'm
proud of you. Let me tell you something. And one day you will receive your mother and father again. They're coming back, and they're going to be proud of what you've done with your life. Well done, well done, priest. Good job, Ayar.
One yourself.
Come yourself. Well done, bro. Well done.
Salakia, General.
Let me finish up these precepts, okay?
Salakia General.
Any last questions in the room? I'm gonna wrap the class up now.
Salakia General, if I could.
Go ahead.
I got one more last one, sir.
Get it on. Don't sweat.
All right. Y'all.
Go ahead.
In the book of Isaiah, the 44th chapter, 28th verse, and the 45th chapter, 1st verse, why did the Lord call Cyrus, who's the one who let us go back to Jerusalem and rebuild Jerusalem temple? Why did he call him his shepherd and his life?
Okay, now you vaguely jogging my memory. To my memory, it's you got to pull it up real fast.
Oh, that's right.
I can't barely remember. All right, go ahead.
It's the book of Isaiah, chapter 44.
If I ask for one more, just say no. Say la ahs. I believe you've had enough. I've never been told that in the truth. I wonder who's going to finally say that to me. Do it. Say you've had enough, sir. I will not. I will obey. Reading on. Go ahead.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 44, verse 28. That saith of Cyrus, he is my shepherd, and shall perform all my pleasures.
2 verses above it.
Sir. The book of Isaiah, chapter 44, verse 26. That confirmeth the word of his servant, and performeth the counsel of his messenger. That saith to Jerusalem, thou shalt be inhabited, and to the cities of Judah.
That's what you need right there. Thou shalt say unto who?
That saith to Jerusalem.
Say unto Jerusalem. Go ahead.
Thou shalt be inhabited.
Go ahead.
And to the cities of Judah, ye shall be built, and I will raise up the decayed places thereof.
What is that talking about?
The cities of Judah, like the temple?
Meaning, okay, you need some history to understand this. You got it? Come on, break it down.
Slacky, sir, that's going into when we was under the Babylonians, and then the Lord had the Persians and the Medes come into power, remove us from Babylonian captivity, and through Cyrus, or through the Lord used Cyrus to allow us to go back and rebuild the temple.
That's all you need. This is a prophecy for what was going to happen in the future. The Israelites were expelled from Jerusalem. We were gone. The Babylonians put us in captivity. Then through the Persians and the Medes, we were taken from Babylon and freed. Some of us were able to go back to Jerusalem and rebuild Jerusalem. So this is a prophecy from a prophet of God, saying that the Israelites are going to go back and inhabit their homeland, and Cyrus is going to be the one to lead them back into their homeland. That's what the shepherd part is talking about. So it's a prophecy that happened. The king, Cyrus, was the one that gave permission to us to go back and build Jerusalem. So he led us back into our own land, and it's prophecy. And when it happened, everyone knew. Who wrote this?
Isaiah.
Everyone knew Isaiah was a prophet of God because it happened, just like he said it would happen. Jerusalem, you shall inhabit. You shall inhabit this land, and Cyrus shall be a shepherd. Cyrus is the one that's going to let you go back. It happened just like Isaiah said. That's the point of this, all right? No sweat. All right. Anything else in the room?
If I could, sir.
Ask precepts then. Anything else? Yashikar, did you want to say anything?
Khan, sir, can I be heard?
Go, please, Yashikar, you got it.
Khan, sir. I just wanted to emphasize on how important this brotherhood is, Adawan, because where I'm from, it's a 93% Hispanic, 93% Mexicans, Adawan. And when I first got in here, I would have never believed that I was an Israelite, sir. The Lord had to send an angel in my dream to let me know that I was an Israelite, because I would have never believed it. And then when I got into UPK, I was a vato from the streets. I didn't feel like I belong here. I was like, this a black thing. Well, what am I doing? Yeah, I'm lost, Holmes. I don't know where I'm at. But it was the brotherhood in the UPK, sir, that kept me here and made me know that this is my home. This is my family. This is where I belong. Because on my family, they turned their back on me because I embraced my new family, the UPK. My homeboys, my moms, everybody. and it's one of them words that they be calling us out there. I don't want, the cholos, the vatos in the streets. They will call me a mayatero, which stands for a nigger lover. That's exactly what I am.
Mayatero.
And that's exactly what I am, sir. They just don't know Christ was a black man, and
right.
And they're still stuck with the white Christ and all that. But Consul, I just wanted to give you a shout out. I don't want you and Commanding General Johanna, because without y'all, I would have been a dead man already, sir. Tawada.
Listen, let's give Yashikar a hand out. Let me tell you, if Yashikar doesn't mind, Yashikar, what's the name of that town that you're from in Mexico? In Mexico.
Reynosa, Tamaulipas, I don't want.
Say it one more time.
Reynosa, Tamaulipas.
Reynosa, Tamaulipas. Is that right?
Tamaulipas.
Say it again, that last part.
Tamaulipas.
Tamaulipas.
Khan.
Let me tell you, this Yashikar, brother, for those of you brothers and sisters that aren't very familiar with him and what brought him into the truth, he is from a very, very dark past. I mean, if you've watched movies about Mexican cartels and the death and the just terrible, terrible situations that Yashikar has been in the world, like it's like a movie. It's like a Mexican cartel movie. The amount of death that he's had to see and body parts that he's had to see and people hanging from bridges and being there for it. And it's a miracle that he found the truth. And it is the conquering. It's the conquering of life over death. It's a miracle. And what the UPK does out for Mexicans and black people and Haitians, you ever talk to Yashikar? He's in, not Yashikar, Yatazar. It's in charge of ISUPK Haiti. And the things he's seen and the videos he sends me, I don't even play because they're horrific. The people being set on fire and people being chopped in little pieces. And somehow, brothers like Yashikar, who was from a terrible place and has seen terrible things, nightmares, things that would give you nightmares, Yashikar has seen with his eyes. And what Ayar has been through are tragedies that you couldn't handle. Tragedies you could not handle. Tragedies I could not handle. And he's been through those things and lost everything and ended up here with us. And instead of allowing this terrible past to determine his future, these two brothers devoted themselves to giving you a better future, to giving you a better life. And they are to be commended. Well done, Akin. Well done. Ayar and for Yashikar and for so many other brothers in the past and so many other brothers in here in this room. And on behalf of Commanding General Johanna, I just want to thank you and say the water to you, all right? Let me give you this last precept. Give you ourselves a hand. I'll drop the other ones. If you need me, I got 1,000 precepts on prison and getting out of prison and not going to prison and freeing from prison. Let me give you the last one in Proverbs. What's that one I just told you to get in Proverbs?
It was Proverbs 3:1.
Proverbs 3:1. Go ahead.
The book of Proverbs, chapter 3, verse 1. My son, forget not my law.
Let me tell you something now. The best thing for all of us is that the prison population gets smaller. There should be less Mexicans in prison. There should be so few Mexicans in prison. The few that go don't know what they're going to do because there's almost none of them in there. There should be so few black people in prison. When a few go, they say, how are we going to survive? We're so few in here. There should be more white people in prison. There should be so many white people in prison that they run the prison. They have the keys. They're the biggest population. And if you want to survive, you got to talk to them. That's what should happen. There should be 10 times as many white people in prison as blacks. Why? Because they outnumber us here in America. Right. We're minorities, but we're the majority in prison. 10 times the majority. Pray for more white people to come to prison. Less Latinos in prison,
Right.
less Mexicans, less Chicanos in prison. That's what we need to happen. The only way that can happen is if we do this. Read it one more time.
The book of Proverbs, chapter 3, verse 1. My son, forget not my law.
Brother, the key to all of this, simple truth of it all, is that if you are unlawful out here, you are put under the law in there. If you don't know how to go in the house and shut your door and not run the streets and rape and commit crime and sell drugs, then someone is put over you to tell you to go to sleep at a certain time, right, to tell you when to eat at a certain time, to tell you to walk and follow this colorful line down here to this place, and this is where you eat. Go and get a shower at this time. Go and eat at this time. Go talk to your mother at this time. If you cannot control yourself, someone else does it. Controlling yourself means no one has to control you. Does everyone understand? Keep the commandments of God. Obey the laws of God. Then no one tells you what to do because you tell yourself what to do. Keep going.
My son, forget not my law, but let thine heart keep my commandments.
That's what you want to. You want to be a man that is lawful. You don't need devils to tell you what to do. I don't need you to conduct my life and tell me how to behave myself and raise my children. I'll handle that. I'll do that. I'll tell myself how to behave. I'll say, I've had enough to drink. If I can't do that, someone has to do it for me. I'll tell myself I had enough. No, I'm done with that. No, I'm not doing that anymore. No, I think I'm good. No, I think that's fine. If you can't do that, then some devil gets paid to do it for you. Continue.
Verse 2. For length of days and long life and peace shall they add to thee.
Jesus. Don't you want some of that? Don't you want that? Don't you know that's what Ayar's family want for him? That's what Yashakar's family want for them. That's what your mother and father, your great-great-great-grandfather wanted for you. Something better than they had. Something better. If you want to live long, if you want peace in your life, there's only one way to get it, and that is to obeying the commandments of God. You don't eat pork. You don't eat shrimp. You don't unalive people. You don't steal. You don't lie. You live your life in a conduct that is admirable and upstanding, and it is for the fulfillment of your people. And then you have peace. Now you got peace. Now when a policeman pulls you over, what can I do for you, officer? Here's my ID. Can I help you with something? You need something. What do you want? I'm a free man. I've committed no crime. Then now you can look a devil in the eye instead of being afraid of devils every day, because you know you're not a man of self-control. You know you're a drug addict. You know you're driving drunk. You know your car smells like weed. So now you're terrified when white people pull you over. Wouldn't you like to look a white man in the eye one day? You like to look at him and he's a drunk. He smells like weed. He beats his wife. Wouldn't you like to look down on them because of their conduct? Wouldn't you like to go, look at you, you're a mass shooter. Captain Jazariak, when you battle that Post Malone, is that his name, Post Malone? Why y'all laughing? What is so funny? What's his real name? Now I'm embarrassed. Salakia, Vocab Malone. When you're battling Vocab Malone, you tell Vocab Malone he is a future mass shooter.
Right.
He's disgruntled, angry, an angry white man is about to shoot up the damn bowling alley.
Right.
Wouldn't you like to look at white people like, hold on, he's white. We got to be careful around him. He might kill everybody in there.
Right.
Don't you want to profile white people? Instead of your whole life being how white people profile you, they think you're a criminal. They think you're selling drugs. When you like to go, wait, white man, show me your ID. Do you have any weapons? What's your business here? Are you gonna mass shoot in here? Damn, don't you want to turn this world upside down? Don't you want power over them instead of them having power over you? There's only one way to get it. They'll have to become criminals, and you will have to become righteous.
Right.
And in that day, you will dominate them. Does everyone understand? Keep going.
Verse 3, the book of Proverbs, chapter 3, verse 3. Let not mercy and truth forsake thee.
Don't do that. Don't let mercy and truth forsake you. Mercy and truth forsake you when you're a criminal. Then now mercy and truth are not on your side because you did it. You understand? You did the crime. You had no mercy, so you received none for yourself. Don't do that. Continue.
Bind them about thy neck.
What should you do?
Bind them about thy neck.
You want to tie mercy and truth around your neck, so it's always with you. Meaning what? Every day I'm saying, I must have mercy on him. I must be kind to her. I have to do it. It's around my neck. I can't let it go. I'm always going to tell the truth. I'm always going to do what the truth says I should do. And I will always be kind to the people that deserve kindness. It's tied around my neck. Continue.
Write them upon the table of thine heart.
So now I write it on my heart. It's so dear to me. Mercy and truth. Kindness, man. Kindness. The brother said earlier that there's some debate online between women saying you should have the right to hurt people when you're unclean, and men saying you shouldn't. Here's what men and women should do. Be merciful to each other. Be kind to one another. Make it so dear to you, so important to you, that it's like it's tied around your neck and written in your heart that I must have mercy. I don't want to have mercy. I'm in a bad mood today. I've been drinking. I lost my job. I've had a bad day at work. I'm unclean. The kids have been getting on my nerves. I have PMS. We both have reason to hurt each other. It would feel good for us to vent our frustration on one another. But mercy is tied around my neck and it's written in my heart. So I'm not going to be mean to you, even though I want to. I'm not going to be unkind to you, even though I'm on my period, because mercy and kindness and truth are so dear to me.
Right.
You want to live, that's what you got to do. That's how I live when I don't deserve to be alive.
That's right.
With that, we're going to pass the class over to who? Give them a hand right here. Say your name again to the brothers up. Say your name to the brothers online. Officer Oscar War. With that, we'll pass the class over to Officer Oscar War.
Call it out.
I mind you, everyone. Let's get
Mind you. Men of Israel, we're going to give one courtesy salute to the teacher. Men of Israel. Amaya Shabbat. Amaya.
Here's Doghouse.
Barak.
Would you like
Alexa,
to start
stop.
adopting dogs?
Alexa, stop.
Brothers face the sisters. Sorry, face the sisters. We're going to give
Great.
one courtesy salute
Barking
to the
shows
sisters.
the dogs
Alexa,
have
stop.
friendly mood. Make sure to come
Alexa,
back and
stop.
say, Alexa, bark.
See that? She must be on her period.
Men of Israel, Amaya Shabbat. Amaya, Barak.
All right, y'all. Good job.
Come on. Come